Chapter 2241, Too Beautiful. Chapter 2241, Too Beautiful. We pay respects to Lord Alliance Leader. A group of Mermaid Gu immortals showed a respectful attitude as they bowed before Feng Yuan's feet. Feng Yuan looked around and was a little surprised. He found that all these Merman Gu immortals were female. They were either seductive, innocent, or cold. The two strongest ones had rank 7 cultivation level, the other 4 were rank 6. All female immortals. Feng Yuan thought. This was not good. He let these mermen enter the sovereign immortal aperture in order to procreate and develop in numbers. Without male Merman Gu immortals and a total of 6 female immortals, they could not grow properly. However, Feng Yuan recalled that in Merman society, females had higher status than males. They would elect a saintess but not a saint. In addition, the Merman imperial court sent these female immortals without any males as a form of reverence towards Feng Yuan as well. You are all members of the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance. After entering the sovereign immortal aperture, we will be one big family. Remember the rules and abide by them. You will be informed of the details later. Saying this, Feng Yuan opened his immortal aperture's entrance. We will obey Alliance Leader's teachings. The female immortals quickly responded before entering obediently. At the next moment, their vision changed completely. They found that they were in the vast sky. Below them was cloud soil and a city was far away. It resembled a huge sea snail that radiated with starlight specks. Did you raise your head earlier? No, I've never been so close to Lord Alliance Leader. I lowered my head the entire time. I mustered my courage and took a peek at him before entering the immortal aperture. Oh goodness, Lord Alliance Leader is simply too beautiful. Lord Alliance Leader has venerable cultivation level. He also takes care of us variant humans, and most strikingly, he is so beautiful. I've never seen such a beautiful and gentle higher-up before. These two rank 6 Mermaid Gu immortals were quite close. They spoke with excitement and expressed their reverence and adoration towards Feng Yuan. As for the other 2 rank 6 female immortals, they had solemn expressions and did not speak. Silence. One of the 2 mermaid leaders said unhappily, "Is Lord Alliance Leader someone you can talk about so casually? We are inside the sovereign immortal aperture now." The female immortals lowered their heads and stopped speaking, but they communicated with their expressions, unable to conceal their excitement. The other leader, Xianxia, stretched out her hand and grasped Yuzi's hand, consoling her. Xianxia, Yuzi, and Xianxia were the 3 leaders of the Merman Imperial Court. This time, when Feng Yuan decided to move some of them into the sovereign immortal aperture, how could the Merman Imperial Court refuse? After receiving the orders, the Merman Imperial Court held an emergency meeting for a day and night. Eventually, the Merman Imperial Court chose 2 of their leaders and 4 mermaid immortals with outstanding beauty to offer to Feng Yuan. To do this, they broke up 2 couples, one of which was already close to getting married. The Merman Imperial Court did not have any rank 8s, their top battle strengths were the 3 leading First Supreme Elders with rank 7 battle strength. By sending 2 away at the same time, it showed how resolute they were. After that, they omitted the males and only chose the most beautiful female immortals. They were trying to get closer to Feng Yuan to curry his favor. This was not strange. Humanity was the undisputed overlord of the world. The Merman Imperial Court had already gotten used to such a subservient lifestyle after many years. Back then, Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable took action to protect the Merman Imperial Court. After his death, his influence dwindled and the Merman Imperial Court started to have alliance marriages with Eastern Sea's righteous path forces. They also liked to take in lone immortals of Eastern Sea through marriage. The Merman Imperial Court was used to such treatment. Because of Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable, they were accepted by Eastern Sea's human forces. Now that Feng Yuan was venerable and took control of Eastern Sea, the Merman Imperial Court was unlike other human forces. They could not join Giant Sun Immortal Venerable or Star Constellation Immortal Venerable. They could only choose Great Love Immortal Venerable, who was closer to variant humans. Thus, even though the 2 female immortals bore grudges after getting separated from their partners, for the sake of their people, they still chose to sacrifice their own happiness. But earlier, when they met with Feng Yuan, they suffered a huge blow. The mermaid immortals knew about Fang Yuan's appearance, be it heavenly court or other forces, they had shown videos of him. The female immortals knew about Fang Yuan's beautiful appearance, but after meeting it, they were still shocked by his peerless features. This was not just external beauty, there was also the fact that he contained abundant Tao marks. Each of his actions had the aura of the great Tao. He emitted extraordinary charm from his entire body, his incomparable capacity and aura subdued everyone that he met. Even Giant Sun Immortal Venerable and Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, despite having many Tao marks, would not be as charming to merfolk. Because mermen were born with water path Tao marks, while Fang Yuan had over 2 million of them, this brought them closer naturally. Yuzi was one of the leaders this time. She was the one who most advocated to contribute everything and use beauty to get closer to Fang Yuan. However, after seeing Fang Yuan, she was deeply shocked. She felt that she was mud when compared to the pure cloud-like Fang Yuan. She felt ashamed of herself. Lian Ko Xian and Yuzi were very close. Along with her personal experiences, she understood why Yuzi was feeling this way. She grabbed Yuzi's hand and secretly transmitted, no matter how beautiful Lord Fang Yuan is, he is still a man. As long as this fact remains, we have hope. Think of Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. Yuzi nodded and slowly regained her calm. At this time, a hairy man Gu Immortal flew over. I am 12th Hair, I have come to receive you. 12th Hair spoke. Yuzi quickly smiled. After a short conversation with 12th Hair, she cast a glance at Tang Qiong. Tang Qiong was a supreme elder of the Merman Imperial Court. She had yellow scales and was gentle and beautiful. Her smile showed dimples that amplified her cuteness. Even though her status was lower than Yuzi, Lian Ko Xian, and Xianxia, she was only below these three. She was given great authority by the three of them. She spent her time on managing the political affairs. She had outstanding interpersonal skills. After getting Yuzi's approval, Tang Qiong went up and handed 12th Hair a seashell. 12th Hair saw that this shell was a rare rank 7 refinement path immortal material. He took it with a smile and showed a warmer attitude. Everyone, please come with me. Your first stop will be Star Collection City. This is the central control area of the Sovereign Immortal Aperture. Star Collection City was not on a huge piece of cloud soil. After flying for some time, they quickly entered it. Under 12th Hair's guide, the Mermaid Gu Immortals went into the main hall and greeted the person in charge. The Gu Immortal in charge of this main hall was a woman who cultivated sound path. Her rank 8 aura spread throughout the hall. She was wearing a pink dress. Her eye sockets were deeper than normal. Her nose had a tall bridge. She also had a pair of seductive and moving eyes. It was Fairy Miao Yin. The mermaids quickly greeted her. Fairy Miao Yin sat at the top seat and looked down at these Gu Immortals. She spoke with a solemn expression. You have just arrived here. You need to learn about the rules of our Sovereign Immortal Aperture and obey them forever. The Sovereign Immortal Aperture does not raise useless people. No matter who you are, you need to work hard to gain anything. The contribution board has a clear list of tasks that you can do. The worst thing you can do is slack off. Do you understand? Yes, we will remember Lady Miao Yin's teachings. The mermaids responded. Fairy Miao Yin nodded before casting her gaze at 12th Hair. Since you took the mission to lead the Mermaid Gu Immortals, you will bring them around and get familiar with Star Collection City's arrangements. Saying this, Fairy Miao Yin waved her hand. Dozens of Gu worms flew out. 12th Hair acknowledged and took these Gu worms. He said to the female immortals, "Follow me." The mermaid immortals took their leave and followed 12th Hair. They all let out a sigh of relief. This Fairy Miao Yin was originally a rank 7 Gu immortal in southern border, but after following Great Love Immortal Venerable, she became a rank 8. She spoke in such a tone, I'm afraid she knows our intention, so she wants to suppress us. Lian Ko Xian and Yuzi transmitted to each other. On the other hand, Tang Qiong carefully asked 12th Hair about Fairy Miao Yin's status. Was she the Star Collection City Lord? Before coming, the Merman Imperial Court made ample preparation. They had prepared gifts for Fang Yuan's well-known subordinates like Fairy Miao Yin and Lady White Rabbit, but because of the tense atmosphere earlier, Tang Qiong could not offer the gift. 12th Hair shook his head. originally, the Star Collection City Lord was the noble combat beast king, but he died during the tribulation. Now, Miao Yin, White Rabbit, Wu Shuai, Qi Si, and the other rank 8s are taking turns to station in Star Collection City. After hearing this, the Mermaid Gu immortals let out sighs of relief again. This fairy Miao Yin was not the Star Collection City Lord, she did not have too much authority. Yuzi's eyes brightened, she knew that the chance to meet Fang Yuan's main body was too rare, but his clones were inside the sovereign immortal aperture. If she could get close to one of them, the goal would be achieved. The mermaid immortals followed 12th Hair and arrived at Star Collection City's central square. In the square, there were 3 huge pillars. There were countless words moving around the surface of the pillars, they made up 3 large boards. Before the Mermaid Gu immortals looked at them closely, 12th Hair already handed out Gu worms. These were the Gu worms that Fairy Miao Yin gave to 12th Hair earlier. Each of the Mermaid Gu immortals obtained 5 of them, they were rank 5 mortal Gu. 3 of the Gu worms were familiar to the mermaids, they knew that these were used for the contribution board, mission board, and exchange board respectively. Fang Yuan listed 3 boards, they did not just exist in the sovereign immortal aperture, be it the Variant Human Alliance or Righteous Qi Alliance, there were such arrangements. Thus, the mermaid immortals knew them. 12th Hair spoke, you will live in the sovereign immortal aperture from now on, your lives will be quite different. From now on, unless Master gives orders, you will not go outside. You can take a look at these 3 boards, these are our internal boards, the external boards in the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance are quite different from them. Right now, be it the Righteous Qi Alliance or Variant Human Alliance, they had all joined the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance. These were 2 conflicting forces, but now, they were one force. Everyone felt very complex emotions. But under Fang Yuan's venerable cultivation level, regardless of their willingness, they had to follow him. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2242, Sovereign's 3 Boards. Chapter 2242, Sovereign's 3 Boards. Star Collection City Square. Yuzi and Lian Ku Xian looked at a contribution board at the same time. This contribution board had a lot of reference material, whoever stood at the top would be the most important subordinates, Fang Yuan's capable generals, they were targets that the mermaid immortals had to befriend. Looking at the contribution board, they could also roughly see the power levels of the factions of Fang Yuan's subordinates and gain more insight. Thereafter, they saw the number 1 name on the contribution board, 6th Hair. A hairy man. This person's contribution points are far above the second person. For the time being, nobody can catch up to him. Even though Yuzi and Lian Ku Xian had just arrived, they could see that 6th Hair's foundation and accumulation were immensely deep. Starting from the second place, the difference in points is not huge anymore. Lian Ku Xian quickly saw some familiar names from the top 10 contributors. Like Fairy Miao Yin, Lady White Rabbit, Mo Tan Sang, Shui Er, Shi Cheng, and others. What made Yuzi and Lian Ku Xian take notice was that there was a strange name in the top 10 positions. Langya Land Spirit. Is this Langya Blessed Land's land spirit? A land spirit can be ranked on the contribution board as well. This shows how magnanimous Lord Fang Yuan is, he treats humans, variant humans, and land spirits equally. The top 10 members of the contribution board were mostly variant human Gu immortals. This had deep political meaning, the 2 former rulers of the Merman imperial court were very pleased about this, they felt a sense of excitement. They also saw 12th Hair's contribution point soon, he was 18th place. The 19th place was the Black Hound Land Spirit. At the next moment, the 19th place Black Hound Land Spirit took over the position of 12th Hair and knocked him down. 12th Hair noticed this too, he coughed in embarrassment and said with a tone of slight envy, this Black Hound Land Spirit is really lucky. Right now, with the fusion of two heavens, remnant heavenly dogs and heaven-swallowing hounds are escaping in groups. They have been constantly caught by Gu immortals and brought into our sovereign immortal aperture. Currently, these hound groups are taken care of by the Black Hound Land Spirit. After they are healed and inspected, they will be released into mini white heaven. This is why the Black Hound Land Spirit is getting so many contribution points. Lien Ko Xin and Yuzi nodded repeatedly, while thinking to themselves, actually, there is no need to explain this. We don't really care about how a land spirit beat you in contribution. They were concerned about Fairy Miao Yin, Lady White Rabbit, and the most important person, Snowman Gu Immortal Shuai. The reason was that Bing Yuan had been bragging in the Variant Human Alliance whenever she could that Shuai was Fang Yuan's fiancé. This was widely spread news. As their former enemy, the Righteous Qi Alliance had been collecting such information, they also paid huge attention to this. Thus, the Mermaid Immortals learned of this. However, when they were about to ask for the information of these crucial people, a wave of screams could be heard near them. Yuzi frowned and was about to scold them, but she heard the four Mermaid Immortals say together, "Leaders, look at the exchange board." Lien Ko Xin and Yuzi could not help but turn their attention away. Immediately, their pupils contracted as they revealed expressions of shock. The exchange board of the Sovereign Immortal Aperture was truly different from the one in Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance. There were too many good things. Lien Ko Xin and Yuzi were getting dizzy from browsing the list. There were all sorts of rewards listed. Gu worms of all paths were available. There were lots of rare and extinct mortal Gu. There were over 1,000 immortal Gu available from rank 6 to 8. There were countless immortal Gu recipes, immortal materials, and immortal killer moves. There were hundreds or thousands of immortal Gu house construction methods, and the immortal inheritances even made Yuzi and Lien Ko Xin stare with wide eyes. This is Water Path Great Expert Chang Guan Shui's inheritance. He cultivated Water Path mainly with Information Path on the side. He has a killer move called One Watery Chapter. 1. It is extremely famous in history. This is the inheritance of our merfolk expert, third princess. She was the most powerful mermaid of the remote antiquity era. She had resisted primordial origin immortal venerable on many occasions. She created the Water Path rank 8 immortal material. Too much water, it has already gone extinct. To think that we would see it here. Yuzi's and Lien Ko Xin's hearts palpitated as they read on. Fang Yuan promoted himself as Great Love Immortal Venerable. He started to do transactions of Gu refinement in Treasure Yellow Heaven. All of the Mermaid Immortals knew of the prices he set. Although the prices were fair, they were incomparable to this. Using contribution points to exchange for things we want, this is much easier than making transactions in Treasure Yellow Heaven or exchanging with the external board. What did I see? We can apply for Lord Fang Yuan to personally help us pass tribulations. He is truly Great Love Immortal Venerable. Lien Ko Xin and Yuzi licked their lips uncontrollably. Their desire towards contribution points rose to an unprecedented level. They cast their heated gazes towards the mission board along with the other four female immortals. Evidently, if one wanted to get cultivation resources from the exchange board, they would need contribution points, while the source of contribution points were missions. There were many missions on the mission board. Within Mini Purple Heaven, a large number of ancient desolate beast mixed heavenly eagles had turned into immemorial desolate beasts for some reason. The mission was to investigate the truth. Dog shit was falling from the sky in many northern plains, piling into mountains and polluting the Frost Dragon's lake. The mission was to investigate the cause of the dog shit and get rid of it. The Dragon Scale Sea area in Mini Eastern Sea was flowing in reverse. A lot of seawater had entered the Mini Nine Heavens. The mission was to fix the immortal formation and rebuild Dragon Scale Sea area. Inkman City Lord Mo Tan Sang got pregnant inexplicably. An expert in abortion was needed now. The Mermaid Immortals looked at the mission board and fell into temporary silence. The quantity of these missions was out of their expectations. In normal situations, the immortal apertures of Gu Immortals were calm and peaceful. They only had to rebuild areas after going through tribulations or when they had new resource points added. They were not like the Sovereign Immortal Aperture, which had strange events occurring at every moment. The Mermaid Immortals looked for a while. They felt worried but also happy. The worry was that even though the sovereign immortal aperture was Great Love Immortal Venerable's immortal aperture and was renowned in the world, it was not peaceful at all, there were chaos everywhere, it would not be easy to live in here. But they were happy because the chaos meant an uncountable number of missions, they had no lack of contribution points to earn. 12th Hare had been observing the mermaid immortal's expressions, he sighed, I'll speak the truth, the sovereign immortal aperture is currently in a state of peace. You have not seen the situation when Master annexed the two heavens grotto heavens, when he gained a huge number of Tao marks, strange phenomena occurred endlessly. Inside the sovereign immortal aperture, there was not a single idle person at that time. Currently, even though there aren't many situations occurring, after the battle in Crazed Demon Cave, we lost many Gu immortals, although most of them revived, they cannot ascend to immortal yet. You can see for yourselves, there are many missions now, but some areas need people to guard them. For example, Star Collection City is too important, we cannot lose it. In addition, with many strange situations occurring, we need at least one rank 8 Gu immortal guarding the aperture at all times, because there are too many missions. Master brought all of you into the sovereign immortal aperture to help out. Earlier in the hall, Fairy Miao Yin spoke bluntly, but she was not wrong. If you want to gain the acknowledgement of the existing Gu immortals, you need to work hard and make achievements, use your actions and contribution points to prove your loyalty to Master. The mermaid immortals heard his words and nodded. Lien Ko Xian and Yuzi looked at each other, they had finally understood Fong Yuan's intention. Tang Qiong quickly expressed gratitude to 12th Hare and handed over a gift again. The other mermaid immortals asked at this time, Lord 12th Hare, you gave us 5 Gu worms each, 3 are used for the boards, what about the last 2? 12th Hare received the gift while smiling and explaining, one of them is used to connect to Treasure Yellow Heaven. Within the sovereign immortal aperture, all Gu cultivators need to use this Gu worm to access Treasure Yellow Heaven. The other one is used to monitor you, it has to be kept on you at all times. If it is destroyed, you need to report it immediately, we will hand out a replacement in Star Collection City. After pausing for a while, 12th Hare continued, no need to think too much about it, not just all of you, we have it too. It might be a mortal Gu but it has saved many of our lives already. We face danger when we handle those strange phenomena, it is possible that we will die during the missions. For example, look at this mission on the board. The mermaid immortals looked at where 12th Hare pointed and saw the Mo Tan Sang abortion mission. 12th Hare showed a strange smile, you might not be familiar with Mo Tan Sang, but his status is not low, he is the Gu immortal leader of Mini Western Desert. He is a male Inkman, but while handling a sudden situation, he got mysteriously pregnant. Now, he is offering a huge price to undergo an abortion, many people are interested but were unable to do anything about it. If the abortion fails, he might lose his life after all. The mermaid immortals opened their mouths, they were dumbstruck. Alright, 12th Hare continued, follow me, I will bring you to a place. In a way, this place is more important than the 3 boards. The mermaid immortals immediately gained deep interest, they followed 12th Hare as they left the square and arrived at a sub-hall of Star Collection City. They saw that there were many Gu immortals at the sub-hall. Many Gu immortals were holding on to each other, some were bending their backs as they dragged themselves into the sub-hall while looking extremely enervated. Afterwards, these Gu immortal walked out of the hall with a revitalized appearance, they looked highly spirited. Even though there were still deep eye bags on their faces. These Gu immortals would nod sincerely when they saw acquaintances, when they went past each other, they would greet each other and talk about their missions or ranking on the contribution board. When these Gu immortals saw the mermaid Gu immortals, they showed expressions of understanding. A few of them took the initiative to greet the mermaids, they were very welcoming. Oh, I've heard that we are bringing in a group of merman Gu immortals, are they the ones? Great, with them joining us, we can finally take a breather. There are more and more missions now, I hope this can reduce our workload. 12th Hare, you are so lucky to have taken the mission of bringing them in. 1. Author is making a joke here. The character's name means adding water, while water is slang for filler in Chinese, therefore a watery chapter is a filler chapter. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2243, Gu Yu Fong Xiang. Chapter 2243, Gu Yu Fong Xiang. 12th Hare laughed heartily as he said some pleasantries. Looking back at the mermaid immortals, he saw that they were in a daze. Some of the Gu immortals even had tears in their eyes. 12th Hair was startled. He quickly said, "If I have done anything wrong." Before he finished, Xianxia interrupted him. 12th Hair, don't worry. It is just that we saw everyone being harmonious and tolerant in this sovereign immortal aperture. Each individual is given a chance with equal opportunities. They are close and tightly knit together, regardless of whether they are an inkman, rockman, snowman, or even human. To speak the truth, I have never seen anything like this. I did not even dare to imagine that such a place would exist in this world we live in. 12th Hair was silent. He was originally a member of Xianxia sect. Even though Xianxia blessed land was well hidden, he was aware of the situation in the 5 regions and 2 heavens. The variant humans had low statuses, they were suppressed by the humans and were all living difficult lives. Looking at it from the perspective of the Eastern Sea Merman Imperial Court, they had been surrounded by human forces and definitely faced much greater pressure than Xianxia sect's hairy men. Even though the site in Star Collection City was simple and normal, it created a huge impact on the mermaid immortals. For an instant, all of the mermaid immortals had a similar thought. No matter how chaotic or dangerous the sovereign immortal aperture's environment became, they had to continue living here. Maybe this is our true homeland. Yuzi muttered. This is a wonderful place to live in. Xianxia sighed deeply. I finally understand the true meaning of great love. Master is truly worthy of being great love immortal venerable. He is unlike the detestable longevity heaven or heavenly court. Be it star constellation immortal venerable or giant sun immortal venerable, they cannot compare to our master. A mermaid immortal spoke about Feng Yuan in an extremely reverent tone. 12th Hair gave a thumbs up as he said proudly, even among all the venerables, master has the biggest heart. It was only natural that Paradise Earth immortal venerable thought highly of him and gave all of his inheritance to master. Nobody else is qualified to receive this. We can only obtain true happiness by following Master's footsteps. Since you recognize this now, then work hard to defend our home from now on. This is the way to maintain our blissful life. The mermaid immortals nodded their heads. Some were so moved they started crying. After calming down, Tang Qiong asked, I wonder what the profound use of this sub-hall is? 12th Hair gasped. He showed a complex expression. There was pride and admiration in his eyes, one could even see excitement and thrill, but he also had some lingering fear. Even 12th Hair's hair could not conceal his expression. This made the mermaid immortals even more curious. Next, the female immortals heard the explanation. This was once a formation called the Liver Life Formation. But recently, Master modified it into an immortal Gu house. It has an excellent effect, it is very useful. Saying so, 12th Hair gave a thumbs up again. He said to the mermaid immortals with a tone that contained deep meaning, you will definitely make good use of it in the future. After hearing 12th Hair's in-depth description, the Liver Life Immortal Gu House left a deep impression on the mermaid immortals. There was nothing else to introduce in Star Collection City. 12th Hair brought these mermaid immortals out of the mini 9 heavens. The group came to mini Eastern Sea and looked at the sea area below. Tides were rising, a sea breeze was blowing. 12th Hair explained, this is the location that Master has chosen for your merman race to live and grow from now on. The mermaid Gu immortals quickly used their investigative methods to inspect this sea area's environment. The unexpected good news was that this sea area has a vast quantity of ordinary Gu materials, but they were scattered chaotically with no order at all. Furthermore, many of the Gu materials conflicted with each other, they were in the process of breaking down. This situation was caused by the Sovereign Immortal Aperture's Dao marks. The Sovereign Immortal Aperture had many Dao marks, that naturally led to the creation of many Gu materials. Because of non-conflicting Dao marks, strange situations occurred often and the Gu materials were distributed chaotically and ended up in an unstable state. This is the map of the 5 regions and 9 heavens, it is a version from 3 days ago, I will gift this to you. 12th Hair pointed as an information path mortal Gu flew out. Version from 3 days ago. Yuzi was very alert. Indeed. 12th Hair nodded and explained, because strange situations are occurring all the time, terrain will also change along with them. And because Master is constantly adding in resource points and annexing blessed lands and grotto heavens, the map of the 5 regions and 9 heavens has been changing all the time, it needs to be updated constantly. Yuzi looked into the goo and shouted in shock, "So big?" Her shouting attracted the attention of the mermaid immortals. They had rarely seen Yuzi, a leading elder, act in such a manner. 12th Hair said with a trace of pride in his tone. He laughed. The sovereign immortal aperture was originally over 335,000 square kilometers in size. Now, after Master's annexing of apertures and undergoing tribulations, the size has expanded by 100 times. We are over 33,500,000 square kilometers in size now. When the other female immortals heard this news, they became dumbstruck and went into a daze. 12th Hair smiled again. "Don't worry, this place will continue to get bigger. If one day, the sovereign immortal aperture surpasses the 5 regions and 2 heavens in size, we will not be surprised. I have already marked your territory on this map. My mission has been completed, but if you have any needs, feel free to contact me using this information path. Mortal Gu. I am currently living on Yellow Hair Continent. I am in charge of leading the Yellow Hair Hairy Men. You and I can be considered neighbors." Lian Ko Xian and Yuzi quickly expressed their gratitude. They took out their own information path Mortal Gu that were used for communication and exchanged them with 12th Hair. After 12th Hair said his goodbyes to the mermaid immortals, he vanished into the sky. After Lian Ko Xian and Yuzi discussed among themselves, the 6 mermaid immortals started to get busy. They sent people to scout and probe the surroundings, including the sky and sea, to collate the resources. On the other hand, the Gu immortals also created a super-sized defensive Gu formation. After the 2 tasks were completed, the mermaid immortals opened their immortal apertures entrances. Groups of mermen went into this sea area along with their families. Under the instructions of the female merman Gu immortals, these 800,000 mermen started to build houses, create underwater villages, towns, and even cities at the center. The mermaid immortals created 6 cities, each one had a Gu immortal to guard it. The cities were surrounded by towns which had branched out villages. Because they made ample preparation, the merfolk did not lack living resources. Chaos was, of course, unavoidable. They had just arrived here after all. But with the guidance and control of the mermaid immortals, no losses appeared. They worked hard for 9 days and nights. After the merfolk mortals settled down, Yuzi and Lian Ko Xian gathered the immortals for a meeting. There are many ordinary Gu materials, but each one has low quantity. They change a lot as well. In my opinion, we should organize groups of merman Gu masters to collect these Gu materials at set intervals of time. The environment is quite safe here. There are few desolate beasts and almost no ancient desolate beasts. There are also no common food like kelp, fish, or shrimp. We need to raise them from scratch. We also need to create a stable ecology. There are few immortal materials here. According to the map, the closest immortal material resource point is the 7 Treasures Sea Spring. It produces 7 treasures water. Don't target resource points. This is the sovereign immortal aperture. All resource points belong to Master. If we want to get resources, we have to complete missions and exchange for them using contribution points. Speaking of missions, these mermaid immortals had been researching hard on the missions. 12th Hair is right. I think that we need to focus on completing missions to prove our worth. That way, the other Gu immortals will acknowledge us. I checked clearly. The most suitable missions for us are the ones to build water path resource points. Master has grand and magnificent ambitions. He is establishing water veins now. The first water vein has already been completed. He is making the second one now. This is our chance. You are right, but we cannot give up on other missions. Especially the ones that involve other Gu immortals. I think we should take some of them and use the missions to get acquainted with and befriend the other Gu immortals. Before coming here, we prepared a lot of gifts. They are still with us now. After the mermaid immortals talked about this, the decision was that Yuzi would stay in this sea area and be in charge of creating the ecology. This would create a stable source of food for the mermen. The 4 female immortals led by Lian Ko Xian went around the place to collect information while also establishing relationships with other factions. Lian Ko Xian spent an entire day to arrive at Yellow Hair Continent. 12th Hair received her information path Mortal Gu's notification already. He went to the sky to welcome her. As the saying goes, better a close neighbor than a distant brother. The 2 parties were inclined to establish a healthy relationship. Lian Ko Xian brought a gift with her again. These days, while researching the contribution board, she noticed that in the sovereign immortal aperture, the hairy men were undoubtedly the #1 force. Twelfth Hair also prepared a present, it was very valuable too. After talking for a while, Twelfth Hair heard of the mermaid immortal's actions and smiled at Xianxia. You've done the right thing. In the 5 regions and 2 heavens, Gu immortals will visit each other and hold banquets. In the worst case, they will at least prepare tea. But in the sovereign immortal aperture, this never happens. How can we have the time to entertain anyone in these useless banquets? It is very wise of you to use these missions to meet with other people. If you follow the customs of the 5 regions and 2 heavens, you will not be well received by everyone. After hearing these words, Xianxia felt glad internally. She understood the style of the sovereign immortal aperture's Gu immortals soon after. Twelfth Hair said directly, we both took a mission to nurture Gu immortal seeds, let's go. Time is pressing, let's go to the most important one. Xianxia went with Twelfth Hair and they flew while concealing their traces, entering a forest in the mountain. A hairy man Gu master was getting chased, he was covered in wounds and ran in the forest hurriedly. Sounds could be heard from behind him, slowly creeping closer. Xianxia inspected and found that this hairy man Gu master was actually a mixed blood of hairy man and human. His name is Gu Yufangxiang. Twelfth Hair introduced at this time. Xianxian's pupils contracted immediately, her entire body shuddered. Twelfth Hair quickly raised his hand, don't let your thoughts run wild. He is not Master's bloodline, he is the son of Gu Yufangzheng. Master is truly far-sighted, his vision is far beyond our understanding, he has been secretly nurturing this kid, creating opportunities and setbacks for him. He is currently the most qualified Gu immortal seed among our hairy man Gu masters. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2244, Sudden Love. Chapter 2244, Sudden Love. Chapter 2244, Sudden Love. Huff, huff, huff. Gu Yufangxiang breathed roughly, he hid behind the roots of an ancient tree. The huge ancient tree had giant roots protruding out of the ground, they were interwoven and created a secluded area. Gu Yufangxiang managed to temporarily get away from the pursuit, he gained some time to rest and recover. He was still bleeding profusely from his mouth and nose, he hurriedly wiped away the traces on his lips as he started to inspect his own physical condition. Gu Yufangxiang's expression turned dim, he found more than 10 injuries on his body, he had 3 bone fractures and the most severe injuries were in his organs, he needed healing urgently. But he was neither worried nor flustered. This was not the first time he had gotten injuries of such severity. Gu Yufangxiang tore his upper shirt that was extremely tattered, it was easily removed, his chest that was covered in black hair was exposed. There was a deep wound across his chest, broken white bones could be seen from within. Gu Yufangxiang gritted his teeth, activating his Gu worm. The healing Gu worm resembled a centipede, it dived into his body through the wound, quickly stopping the internal bleeding. After a while, the centipede was covered in blood and came out of Fangxiang's body, lying on his chest wound. Its 100 pairs of legs stabbed into the skin of his wound, the intense pain made Gu Yufangxiang suck in a sharp breath. Next, the centipede slowly exerted force as its 100 pairs of legs dragged the skin and flesh, emitting a soft sound and forcing the wound to mend together. But this handling of the injury only suppressed it, it could not solve the root cause. Gu Yufangxiang knew that, but there was no time for him to heal himself. I see blood traces. Hurry, hurry. Be careful, that kid is quite dangerous. What's there to fear, even if he has rank 5 cultivation level, after getting hit by our leader's crippled refinement killer move, most of his Gu worms were destroyed. Precisely because of such thinking, more than 10 experts died at his hands already. This mixed blood Gu Yufangxiang is truly a monster. All these discussions made Gu Yufangxiang's expression change. Damn it! They arrived so quickly, I had just handled my wounds. Gu Yufangxiang clenched his teeth, he inspected the remaining few Gu worms in his aperture. At this point, most of the Gu worms had been destroyed already. The remaining ones were mostly injured. If he tried to activate them, they would be destroyed in the process. These were all Gu worms that Gu Xiang had accumulated after much effort, but now, he had no choice but to sacrifice them. "Oh sleep lurk Gu, I can only depend on you now. You must persevere." Gu Xiang prayed as he activated the Gu worm to conceal himself. This rank 4 Gu worm had outstanding concealment effects on par with rank 5. Gu Xiang had used it many times in his life to escape from fierce threats. But this Gu had a weakness. Once activated, the Gu master would fall into deep sleep. The deeper their sleep, the better the concealment effect. Gu Xiang lost his sensation of the outside world as a result. What he did not know was that after he fell asleep for some time, this sleep lurk Gu broke apart into pieces. But the pursuers were still chasing him. Seeing this, the lurking 12th hair waved his hand. The immortal killer move was instantly used on Gu Xiang. A yellow hair hairy man Gu master that was chasing him combed the surroundings carefully while checking the tree roots that Gu Xiang was hiding in. Even though he was right in front of Gu Xiang, he could not see the latter. Eventually, he concluded that Gu Xiang had escaped from this mountain, so he went deeper into the mountain to pursue him. After Gu Xiang woke up, he found that he was safe and let out a sigh of relief. Looking in his aperture, he found that the sleep lurk Gu had already shattered into pieces. He felt glad and also lingering fear. It seems that sleep lurk Gu lasted until the crucial moment, so I managed to get away from the pursuers. They have already gone to the next mountain. Now is the time for me to escape. Gu Xiang was very happy, because his injuries had already stabilized. He quickly got up and left. He hid in the deep bushes of the forest as he moved, carefully trying not to leave any traces behind as he escaped. After half a day, the sky suddenly turned dim. A strange fog appeared in the mountain's forest. Gu Xiang arrived in a deep pool on the mountain. He inspected the surroundings and felt very satisfied. He decided to stay here for some time and recuperate. There is a good source of water here. Wild beasts will definitely come here to drink water, be it water or beast flesh. They are both needed. If I am lucky, I can even hunt and obtain some Gu materials to refine Gu worms, that will refill my stock of Gu worms. Gu Xiang was very experienced in living alone within the mountains and forests. He was a mixed blood of human and hairy man. In the black hair continent that was ruled by hairy men, he was greatly ostracized. Even his birth mother, Steel Thread City Lord, did not like him. In Gu Xiang's childhood and adolescence, his greatest wish was to use all his effort to gain the acknowledgement of his mother. However, because he was a mixed blood, his aptitude in Gu refinement was far inferior to hairy men. And the worst thing was that hairy men took pride in Gu refinement. But the problem was that Gu Xiang also had his secret encounters. Because of all sorts of situations, he coincidentally obtained some special cultivation methods. He was hardworking and shocked people with his performance. Gradually, his mother, Steel Thread City Lord, changed her opinion of him. She started to accept him from the depths of her heart. But good times did not last long. Steel Thread City was attacked once and the entire city's people were nearly wiped out. Steel Thread City Lord did her best and escaped with Gu Xiang in the end. Before her death, Steel Thread City Lord told Gu Xiang of his identity. "Oh son, mother has let you down. Didn't you always want to know about your father? His name is Gu Fangzheng. He was once a human slave that I owned. But after he escaped, he became a renowned demonic path Gu master expert. You have a human name, it is called Gu Xiang. Go and find your father, tell him your name and everything that has happened in your life. We have strong enemies that want to kill us. If you want to take revenge for me, you need to find your father first." Like that, the youngster Gu Xiang stepped on the journey to find his father. He secretly went from black hair continent to white hair continent, before moving to yellow hair continent. The journey was filled with lots of difficulties and danger. He faced constant challenges and trouble. Even though Gu Fangzheng was no longer in the aperture, the stories of his experiences across the 3 continents were left behind as legendary tales. Gu Fangxiang's cultivation level slowly rose as his social experiences became richer, countless battles and escapes shaped his optimistic and determined nature. He believed that one day, he would definitely find his father. Near the deep pool, Gu Fangxiang took a good rest for the night. At the break of dawn, mountain mist became extremely dense. Gu Fangxiang showed a suspicious look as he went to the periphery of the deep pool. He found that this deep pool was very strange. The mist in the mountain originated from this pool. Gu Fangxiang stayed here for half a day and a full night, but he did not find any traces of beasts that came here to drink water. All sorts of phenomena gave him a familiar sensation. Whenever he had a fortuitous encounter, something like this would occur. Gu Fangxiang had a rich adventurous spirit. After probing for some time, he went into the pool. But out of his expectations, the pool was not ice cold. The deeper he went, the warmer it got. Gu Fangxiang got all the way to the depths of the pool. The water was as comfortable as hot springs. This is. He found a piece of white jade in the deep pool. The jade was nearly transparent. From the outside, he could easily see that there was a beauty sealed inside the jade. This is a mermaid. Gu Fangxiang looked at the beauty's face and his pupils expanded. He felt deeply moved. So beautiful. He had never seen such a beautiful woman. Such beauty made his heart jump. He felt a sense of adoration emerging from his heart. The mermaid that was sealed in the white jade was Xianxia. She transmitted her voice to Fangxiang. Interesting mixed blood kid, you are the one who woke me up. Gu Fangxiang wanted to scream as he opened his mouth, because he forgot that this was deep within the pool. Water quickly gushed into his mouth. He quickly shut his mouth. He showed a pathetic look. Xianxia laughed out loud. Gu Fangxiang felt his entire body going numb from infatuation. He thought, this mysterious mermaid has such a beautiful voice as well. Xianxia explained, I am mermaid immortal Xianxia. After I calmed a disaster in the world, I got injured by accident and became sealed in this white jade. Young man, it is fate that we met. Please give me a hand to break free from here. Gu Fangxiang was extremely shocked, but he did not have a gu worm that could transmit his voice. He cupped his fists and bowed deeply. He tried to use sign language in the water to express his words. Xianxia smiled, don't worry, this white jade cannot trap me, it is just that I need some time to break free. If you can refine the rank 4 earth refinement gu and refine this white jade from the outside, it will save me a lot of effort. Gu Fangxiang nodded in succession. Xianxia then gave him pointers and the gu recipe of earth refinement gu. She also instructed him to find the suitable gu materials in the vicinity. Gu Fangxiang went out of the pool and immediately got to work. After spending 3 days, he finally refined the rank 4 earth refinement gu on his first try. I was really lucky. Gu Fangxiang felt glad internally. According to his regular performance, rank 4 gu worms were not easy to refine. He was just a mixed blood after all. It seems that even heaven is helping me to save this fairy. Gu Fangxiang sighed to himself. 12th Hare, who was hiding himself to the side, shook his head, while unable to contain his laughter. It was with his secret help that Gu Fangxiang could succeed in one try. After obtaining earth refinement gu, Gu Fangxiang did not rest. He went into the deep pool with a tired body and started to refine the white jade. Xianxia successfully escaped. She smiled at Gu Fangxiang and showed a gaze of appreciation. Gu Fangxiang's face turned red. He quickly lowered his head. In order to express her gratitude, Xianxia waved her hand and healed all of Gu Fangxiang's injuries. Next, she gave him close to 10 mortal gu as his reward and even 1 inheritance. Xianxia was about to leave. Gu Fangxiang asked in panic, Fairy, will I be able to meet you again? Xianxia smiled, do you know the difference between immortal and mortal? Gu Fangxiang shook intensely, his face turned ashen and pale. But Xianxia added, the inheritance I gave you is an immortal cultivation method. If you can become an immortal, you will surely meet me again. Ah! Gu Fangxiang cried out, lost for words. He did not expect that this fortuitous encounter would be so valuable. After a moment, he watched in a daze by the pool as Xianxia flew up into the sky, vanishing into the clouds. Lian Ko Xian, Fairy Ko Xian. Gu Yufang Xiang muttered, his hand over his heart. Lian Ko Xian's appearance was etched into his memories. He knew that from now on, other than finding his father, he had a new goal to achieve in life. That was to become a Gu immortal and meet with Fairy Lian Ko Xian again. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2245, Reprimanding Heavenly Court. Chapter 2245, Reprimanding Heavenly Court. How is it? 12th Hare asked with a smile. Within the clouds, he met with mermaid immortal Lian Ko Xian secretly. Lian Ko Xian replied, he is a Gu immortal seed indeed, there is a high chance of becoming an immortal. 12th Hare shook his head, he obtained an immortal cultivation method and strong motivation from this, but they are not enough. We need to continue raising his foundation. After all, the balancing of 3 chi can only be done by himself. As for the other calamities and tribulations, they were not a problem. The immortals could secretly help him from the side. Then what do you intend? Lian Ko Xian showed a look of hesitation. 12th Hare explained, I will give him around 8 days to familiarize himself with those mortal Gu. Afterwards, I will arrange for those pursuers to find him and act as his sparring targets. His mother, Steel Thread City Lord, is not dead, she is only in a comatose state of near death, only a Gu immortal's method can save her. I will let him understand this and affirm his determination to go through and pass the tribulation. Lian Ko Xian heard this and became solemn for a while. She soon praised, friend, you have broad visions, I cannot compare to you. After we complete this mission, I hope you can decide the distribution of contribution points. Fairy, you are too modest. Fairy, you are too modest. 12th Hare squinted his eyes and waved his hand, I will report your effort as well. Besides, Star Collection City decides the contribution points, how can I interfere with it? Lian Ko Xian had originally taken this mission to get closer to 12th Hare. But once she found out about Gu Yufang Xiang's special identity, she immediately understood that Gu Yufang Xiang would become very useful in the future, he was an important pawn to Fang Yuan. Thus, this mermaid immortal came up with a plot, she went in and used herself as bait to interact with Gu Yufang Xiang. In order to perform well, this mermaid immortal was putting in her full effort. 12th Hare was afraid that her performance would affect his own gains, thus, he explained another plan to Lian Ko Xian. Lian Ko Xian was very sharp, she quickly explained that she was not going to fight with him over contribution points, this made 12th Hare feel very satisfied about their cooperation. The atmosphere between the two became harmonious again. After a short conversation, suddenly, far away in the south, a huge pillar of light soared to the sky as an eerie Gu refinement aura spread around the vicinity. Lian Ko Xian sensed it and her expression changed, someone has just succeeded in refining rank 7 immortal Gu. She then turned to look at 12th Hare as she praised, your race is truly talented, just this aura alone is making me feel admiration and aspiration. I wonder if a meeting can be arranged for us. 12th Hare showed a difficult expression, he subconsciously suppressed his volume as he shook his head, I can introduce you to any other hairy man Gu immortal, but this person is very special. He is actually Spectral Soul Demon Venerable's clone, he has been affected by Master's method, he is imprisoned for life and cannot stop refining Gu. Lian Ko Xian was very shocked when she heard this, inspiration flashed in her mind, she asked involuntarily, don't tell me this imprisoned Gu immortal is 6th Hare. 12th Hare nodded, very astute, Fairy, you guessed it right on your first try. The valley that 6th Hare lives in is also specially arranged by Master, it is a forbidden area in the sovereign immortal aperture, we call it the Spectral Valley Forbidden Ground. Currently, within the Spectral Valley Forbidden Ground, 6th Hare was thin as a stick, his cheeks were caved in and his eye bags were deep. A rank 7 immortal Gu had just been refined. This Gu worm looked like an ant, the front half was shiny while the lower half was dim, its front limbs were short and weak while its back legs were long and powerful. It was the enslavement path immortal Gu, master servant Gu. I finally refined it. I failed 33 times, got heavily injured 27 times, and nearly died 19 times, but I still refined it in the end. With this immortal Gu, I can definitely help sect leader Fang Yuan. I need to rely on sect leader to save the main body. Wait, am I forgetting something? Never mind, I need to continue refining Gu. The more immortal Gu I refine, the stronger Shadow Sect will get, and the higher the hope of saving the main body. Sixth Hair's state of mind was not right. After mumbling for some time, he started to prepare and refine other immortal Gu. A moment later. Within Treasure Yellow Heaven, Fang Yuan's will and He Feng Yang's will completed a transaction under everyone's watchful gazes. Fang Yuan obtained an Earth Path resource point of Central Continent called 9 Central Stone Forest, while He Feng Yang obtained Master Servant Gu. They really did a transaction. This is unbelievable. He Feng Yang is actually so daring. He is not doing this out of desperation, it is obvious that Immortal Crane's sect has instructed him to do this. Immortal Crane sect? No, if they publicly transacted with Heaven refining Demon Venerable, even Immortal Crane's sect cannot bear the pressure from everyone. This transaction is definitely approved by Heavenly Court, otherwise, how can the 10 great ancient sects even dare to do this? Didn't Heavenly Court denounce Fang Yuan as a Demon Venerable? They will cooperate with him. So what? Rank 7 Immortal Gu are hard to refine. Heavenly Court is extremely rich, they have countless resource points like 9 Central Stone Forest. This cost for an Immortal Gu is too worthwhile, even I would do it. Fang Yuan is truly Heaven refining Demon Venerable, he can refine rank 7 Immortal Gu with such ease. It is simply as easy as drinking water. What do you think his success rate of refining rank 8 Immortal Gu is? It won't be so easy, right? I think he has 30% chance of success. What about rank 9 Immortal Gu? Hehe, you must be joking. Even a refinement path venerable will face great difficulties when trying to refine a rank 9 Gu. Look at historical records, there have been many attempts to refine rank 9 Immortal Gu, but how many truly succeeded? Even Star Constellation Immortal Venerable took 100 years to refine a wild rank 9 Wisdom Gu. That's right, Heavenly Court spent over 1,000,000 years to repair the rank 9 Fate Gu. And in the end? It was all for nothing. And they were just trying to repair a rank 9 Immortal Gu, refining one from scratch is too hard. Who knows, this Gu Fang Yuan is the first refinement path venerable in history, we can only look up to him, we cannot fathom his true abilities. At once, the Gu immortals of the 5 regions and 2 heavens discussed among themselves. They started to talk about Fang Yuan's refinement path abilities, they were curious about the extent of power that a refinement path venerable had. Most of them felt that it would be very difficult for Fang Yuan to refine a rank 9 Immortal Gu. After all, many historical records supported this idea. The remaining Gu immortals felt that they were too weak to see through and understand Fang Yuan's true limits. Soon, the Gu immortals' topic shifted to Heavenly Court gradually under some people's meticulous arrangement. Heavenly Court approved of He Feng Yang's actions while Star Constellation Immortal Venerable held an ambiguous attitude towards Fang Yuan. Many of the immortals looked at this in disdain, they expressed their tone of mockery towards Heavenly Court, but they understood why this was happening. After all, Fang Yuan's business could not be stopped, there were a lot of profits to gain from it as well. From this topic, the Gu immortals shifted towards the issue of Heavenly Court's stoppage of handing out immortal essence stones. Thus, begrudged discussions and requests to Heavenly Court to distribute immortal essence stones became louder and more common, the mockery, jealousy, and hatred towards Heavenly Court became increasingly aggravated. Heavenly Court had always been the #1 human force in the world, they stood proudly at the top of the Gu immortal world of the 5 regions and 2 heavens. This time, they stopped distributing immortal essence stones. It went against their usual behavior of being the leader of the Gu immortal world. The lack of immortal essence stones caused a lot of trouble to the bulk of the Gu immortals. Within Treasure Yellow Heaven, 9 out of 10 transactions were done through bartering, the remaining one involved the purchasing of immortal essence stones by various super forces at high prices. Western Desert. Fong Di Chang also activated his Gu worm to connect to Treasure Yellow Heaven. This wave of discontent towards Heavenly Court is very strange. It seems Giant Sun Immortal Venerable and Heaven Refining Demon Venerable are the ones manipulating it from the background. Fong Di Chang's eyes flickered with uncertainty as he sensed the peculiarity. And this was the truth behind the matter. Fong Yuan and Giant Sun Immortal Venerable did not let go of this opportunity. Heavenly Court's reputation fell time and again under such discontented discussions. Fong Di Chang's divine sense came to Fong Yuan's will and spoke in a humble and subservient manner. Western Desert's Fong Di Chang greets Lord Alliance Leader. Alliance Leader is truly a master of the pen and the sword. Your divine radiance lights up the world. I hope Lord Alliance Leader will live a life of eternal bliss. I hope your lifespan can rival heaven itself. Before he finished, Fong Yuan's will waved his hands impatiently, interrupting Fong Di Chang. Cut the crap, transact now. Fong Di Chang quickly acknowledged. Thus, another transaction after the one with He Fong Yang was successfully completed. Fong Yuan refined a rank 7 immortal Gu and gave it to Fong Clan. They paid him 1 earth vein resource point and several million hairy man slaves. Fong Clan originally wanted to keep a low profile and develop in secret. But after Fong Yuan's great love declaration, he exposed his relationship with Fong Clan and stunned them completely. One clan gathered the Western Desert's righteous path forces to attack Fong Clan but failed. It caused Fong Clan to understand their circumstances. They stopped dreaming of a different outcome. Thus, under Fong Di Chang's suggestion, Western Desert's Fong Clan declared that they were joining the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance. At this point, Fong Clan can only cooperate with Fong Yuan and use this chance to strengthen ourselves. Fong Di Chang sighed internally. This was a dangerous status to have, but at the same time, they gained immense benefits. Immortal Gu were too hard to refine. With this immortal Gu replenished, my battle strength can rival ordinary rank 7 Gu immortals now. Fong Di Chang fell into deep contemplation. He had already gone through the immortal ascension. He was a rank 6 Gu immortal now. The balancing of 3 Qi was the hardest hurdle, but Fong Di Chang had ample experience. It could not be that he would fail in his second attempt after succeeding the first. The other problem with immortal ascension were tribulations. But with the help of Fong Clan's Gu immortals, most tribulations were of no threat. Unless they were dream path or painting path. What made Fong Di Chang feel regret was that his immortal ascension did not have any natural inspiration opportunity. When a Gu master ascended, they would have a prime opportunity for natural inspiration to occur. They would be able to ask the world some questions and gain immense benefits. But this time, Fong Di Chang did not get this opportunity. This was not because he was undergoing immortal ascension for the second time. Instead, the issue was with Heaven's will itself. With the fusion of 2 heavens, Heaven's will had also gotten into chaos and turbulence. It did not have the ability to grant natural inspiration at this time. After recuperating for a few days, we will attack one clan. This time, Fong Di Chang's eyes were sharp like an eagle's. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2246, Not Much Immortal Essence Left. Chapter 2246, Not Much Immortal Essence Left. Northern Plains. Golden light floated in the sky like thin threads, gathering and forming a huge golden aurora that permeated into the ground and spread out widely. The commotion was huge and the aura was vast. This was Giant Sun Immortal Venerable refining Northern Plains' natural luck path Dao marks. But at this time, the golden light that filled the area dimmed. A moment later, this core area of Northern Plains returned to its original state. In the air, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable opened his eyes slowly. He had a handsome face and his mouth, nose, eyes and brows were all thick and straight, but currently, his expression was cold and had a faint trace of helplessness. The three venerables tried to kill Spectral Soul Demon Venerable but failed because of Fang Yuan's disturbance. Afterwards, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable returned to Northern Plains and refined Luck Path Dao marks there instead. After a period of time, the results were abundant. Currently, he had already completed a stage of his plans. All the Luck Path Dao marks of Northern Plains core area were refined by him. His Luck Path Dao marks covered the Wisdom Path area that Star Constellation Immortal Venerable had refined earlier, allowing him to cancel out some of Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's advantage in this place. However, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable could do nothing against the Wisdom Path Dao marks that Star Constellation Immortal Venerable had already refined. But in the future, if they fought here, although Star Constellation Immortal Venerable would get a Dao mark amplification, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable would also receive the same bonus. He would not lose his territorial advantage. But I don't have much immortal essence left. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable sighed to himself. The refinement of natural Dao marks expended a lot of rank 9 immortal essence. Initially, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable was only refining the Luck Path Dao marks of the vicinity around him. It was like he was building a ball-shaped spider web. From an initial div, it grew into a small ball, and finally a large ball. The larger the ball expanded, the more Dao marks he would encounter. To refine these Luck Path Dao marks, he would expend an increasingly terrifying amount of immortal essence. Currently, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable only had around 100 yellow apricot immortal essence beads left. This forced him to stop here. His immortal essence reserves were reaching a critical level. He had to leave some for emergencies. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's rank 9 immortal aperture could produce yellow apricot immortal essence. This was his only source of immortal essence production. Longevity Heaven could not produce any. Even though Longevity Heaven did not annex any 9 Heaven's fragments and was not corroded by Heaven's will, after Giant Sun Immortal Venerable died in his era, it stopped producing immortal essence. Right now, even though Giant Sun Immortal Venerable had revived, the venerable aperture that he had was the current one. It had not passed one chaotic disaster yet. Furthermore, this second aperture had also just started developing. It was not flourishing and did not produce a large amount of immortal essence. That was unless Giant Sun Immortal Venerable annexed Longevity Heaven, but if he did that, he would gain a huge number of Luck Path Dao marks. It would destroy his plan of cultivating Blood Path. I need to raise Blood Path to a certain level first before I can regain my previous life's foundation. This development will be costly, but I must endure it. Blood Path will be of utmost importance when I face the other venerables in the future. Thankfully, even though I am low on immortal essence, the other two are in an even worse state. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable smiled to himself. All along, he had been thinking that immortal essence was his advantage. Even though he could not refine more Luck Path Dao marks, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable did not slack off. He waited for his immortal essence to replenish while comprehending Blood Path. Blood Sea Ancestor was actually Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's clone. Blood Sea Ancestor created Blood Path and left behind countless Blood Path inheritances after he died. Most were mortal level and contained mortal killer moves and mortal Gu, but he had 9 true inheritances of Gu immortal level. That was the peak of Blood Path when he died. These 9 were Blood Skull Gu, Blood Handprint Gu, Blood Chi Gu, Blood Sweat Gu, Menzies Blood Gu, Blood Shadow Gu, Blood Battle Gu, Blood Deity Gu, as well as the method to raise and enslave the ancient desolate beast Violent Blood Dragon Bat. It was a pity that Blood Sea Ancestor was targeted by Heavenly Court in his life. Even after his death, many inheritances were ruined by them. Thankfully, Blood Sea left behind countless mortal inheritances. Most of the 9 true inheritances also displayed their worth. The one who obtained the most true inheritances was Southern Borders Gu Immortal Shang Yanfei. In his younger days, he found Blood Handprint Immortal Gu in Southern Borders Blood Tide Pit. He later obtained Blood Shadow Gu's true inheritance. Northern Plains Menzies Blood Immortal Gu was obtained by Dong Fong Chang Fan. Western Desert's Blood Chi Immortal Gu true inheritance was obtained by Demon Immortal Chi Ju. As for the true inheritance regarding the ancient desolate beast Violent Blood Dragon Bat, it was obtained by Shadow Sect's Song Zi Xing. Central Continent's blood deity Immortal Gu true inheritance was fought over by the 10 great ancient sects. They destroyed over half of it, and the incomplete blood deity Immortal Gu recipe ended up in the hands of myriad dragon doc. As for the remaining 3 true inheritances, because of the changing terrain, a volcano erupted and destroyed Blood Skull Immortal Gu's true inheritance. Blood Sweat Gu was taken mysteriously and had never been shown in public. It was possible that the person who took it met with an accident. Blood Battle Gu's true inheritance was by chance destroyed by an immemorial desolate beast. After Giant Sun Immortal Venerable revived, he took all of the blood path research results that the Northern Plains Huang Jin tribes had, as well as Longevity Heaven's research gains. Next, he instructed Earth Extremity Gon Ni to refine Immortal Gu. The result was that they obtained several blood path Immortal Gu. Among them, there was Blood Battle Immortal Gu. As for the other 7 Immortal Gu, other than Blood Deity, the rest had been tested. It was confirmed that all of them were already existing in the world. Without an alternative, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable had to temporarily turn Imitation Gu into Blood Relation Gu and barely created a blood path formation that helped him to revive during the battle in Crazed Demon Cave. I have already digested the primordial domain regarding blood path. My current blood path attainment level has also reached Supreme Grandmaster. But there were too few blood path Immortal Gu. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable had first absorbed the primordial domain in Crazed Demon Cave to become a Supreme Grandmaster in Luck Path. Afterwards, he focused on blood path. He obtained a lot of the primordial domain but did not have time to digest them earlier. Now, he had already used up all of the primordial domain regarding blood path. In terms of attainment level, he was the number 1 person in the world regarding blood path, but currently, he was in an awkward state of lacking relevant Immortal Gu. He needed a large quantity of crucial blood path Immortal Gu. Among them, the ones that Giant Sun Immortal Venerable wanted the most were Blood Asset, Blood Skull, Bloodline, Blood Relation, and others. But in fact, these Immortal Gu were already owned. Gon Ni had been refining all sorts of blood path Immortal Gu for Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. Blood Rope Immortal Gu was one of the products. But these Immortal Gu were too low ranked, they did not suit Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. These blood path Immortal Gu needed to be rank 8 at least. This job was too difficult for Gon Ni to complete. Gon Ni cultivated Earth Path and Refinement Path. She was not a pure Refinement Path Gu Immortal. Even if she was, the success rate of refining rank 8 Immortal Gu was just too low. If Long Hair Ancestor were still around, it would be much simpler. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable started to miss Long Hair Ancestor. Back then, he had asked Long Hair Ancestor to refine all those Luck Immortal Gu. He managed to create 88 True Yang building. Fang Yuan took the initiative to refine so many blood path Immortal Gu. Regardless of this situation, or whether I need to advance my other blood path Immortal Gu, I will need to transact with him. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable found that he could not avoid Fang Yuan. Recently, Feng Yang publicly transacted with Fang Yuan. This showed Giant Sun Immortal Venerable that Heavenly Court had an ambiguous attitude towards him. Since Heavenly Court was attempting this, if Giant Sun Immortal Venerable did not follow, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable and Fang Yuan would leave him in the dust. I'll let Heavenly Lord Bai Zhu handle this and buy Blood Path Immortal Gu from Fang Yuan. Humph, isn't he quite close to Fang Yuan? Giant Sun Immortal Venerable made a decision. Next, he started to deduce more Blood Path Immortal Gu recipes and killer moves. Blood Path Supreme Grandmaster attainment level was his greatest assurance. Of course, there was another aspect. He was using his methods to look for the blood path research results of the various super forces, and also the blood path inheritances left behind by other geniuses. After all, deducing Immortal Gu recipes and killer moves took time and effort. If he could use established inheritances as reference, he would save a lot of time and energy. Heavenly Court. 2 days ago, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable had already stopped refining Heavenly Court's Wisdom Path Dao marks. It was not that she was unwilling to, but her situation was the same as Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, their immortal essence reserves were reaching critical levels, they had no choice but to stop. But Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's situation was different from Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. In her previous life, her venerable aperture was contributed to Heavenly Court, and because Heavenly Court had devoured many immemorial 9 heavens fragments, it was corroded by Heaven's will and her own wisdom path Dao marks were turned back into natural Dao marks. Thus, she could not retrieve her previous venerable aperture like Giant Sun Immortal Venerable to raise her own Dao marks to a colossal scale. But she had her own advantage. Heavenly Court contained a huge number of wisdom path Dao marks, far beyond what she had in her previous life. Because Heavenly Court had existed for 3 million years, during which countless rank 8 Gu immortals Because Heavenly Court had existed for 3 million years, during which countless rank 8 Gu immortals had appeared, their immortal apertures were also fused into Heavenly Court. If she fully refined all the wisdom path Dao marks in Heavenly Court, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable would receive amplification that was far beyond Giant Sun Immortal Venerable inside Longevity Heaven. These last 2 days, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable had been deducing killer moves. She wanted to use Star Eyes Immortal Gu and others to modify her own combat system. Similar to Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, she had absorbed a lot of the primordial domain, her star path became Supreme Grandmaster again, and together with her wisdom path cultivation, she was much more adept than Giant Sun Immortal Venerable in modifying killer moves. When refining natural Dao marks, the immortal essence expenditure was huge. But when deducing killer moves, for the case of Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, the immortal essence expenditure was of an acceptable level. Relying on her current venerable aperture, the production of immortal essence was greater than the amount she expended. But the most important thing is to refine all of Heavenly Court's wisdom path Dao marks. If she completed that, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable would be able to use a killer move to conceal Heavenly Court's information. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable would not be able to use Longevity Heaven's luck path Dao marks to forcefully inspect it. Things were difficult to do openly, but easy to do secretly. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable knew this clearly. After I block Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's investigative method, I will break the truthful floating ice and retrieve derivation Gu. It will be helpful in our human path development. In terms of immortal essence, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable should have an advantage. In terms of Gu refinement, Fang Yuan has the advantage. But I have rank 9 derivation Immortal Gu, if I can use it well, I can surpass the 2 venerables. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable calculated internally. In the contest of 3 venerables, although they were not physically fighting, their contest had taken a different form. Refining Dao marks, immortal essence reserves, rank 9 immortal Gu, all these various aspects were crucial points that the venerables competed in. Undeniably, whoever had the advantage in these aspects would have a higher chance of winning in the end. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2247, Fang Yuan's second rank 9 immortal Gu. Chapter 2247, Fang Yuan's second rank 9 immortal Gu. Eastern Sea. This is about enough, I should stop now. Fang Yuan willed as he stopped refining Dao marks. The sovereign immortal aperture had 100 beads of yellow apricot immortal essence stored. But Fang Yuan did not stop refining natural Dao marks because of issues with his immortal essence reserves. The truth was, he refined Eastern Sea's refinement path Dao marks openly, while secretly unsealing the truthful floating ice in his aperture. Most of his yellow apricot immortal essence beads were used to unseal the truthful floating ice, only a small portion were used to refine Eastern Sea's refinement path Dao marks. Because of his action, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable and Giant Sun Immortal Venerable stayed in their territories, they did not come to attack Fang Yuan. Oh! Giant Sun Immortal Venerable stopped refining natural Dao marks. Fang Yuan's eyes shone with luster. This information could not be hidden, because the 3 venerables paid a lot of attention to each other. Fang Yuan soon caught wind of this. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable should not have much immortal essence left, although Star Constellation Immortal Venerable is holed up inside Heavenly Court, her situation should be similar. Fang Yuan let out a sigh of relief. With the two of them having low immortal essence, the chance of them attacking Fang Yuan was very low, their threat towards him also fell by many times. Thankfully, I took a risk earlier and refined rank 9 Heavenly Essence Treasure Imperial Lotus, otherwise, I'd be in a tough predicament now. In the contest of 3 Venerables, if one side lagged behind, they would not be able to catch up easily. After all, the 3 Venerables were all elites of elites. Currently, in terms of immortal essence reserves, I am already on par with the others. But truthfully, I have a lot more advantage than the 2 Venerables. Fang Yuan evaluated. Firstly, Heavenly Essence Treasure Imperial Lotus was simply too incredible and useful. Next, Fang Yuan's Sovereign Immortal Aperture had time path methods in effect, the rate of time was faster than the 2 Venerables. In contrast, because of conflicting Dao marks, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable and Giant Sun Immortal Venerable did not have any time path methods that could be effective on their immortal apertures. And finally, Fang Yuan's Sovereign Immortal Aperture had far deeper foundation than the 2 Venerables who had just started developing theirs, the Yellow Apricot Immortal Essence he produced exceeded theirs. With all 3 elements, Fang Yuan's Yellow Apricot Immortal Essence production far surpassed the 2 Venerables. Currently, while Fang Yuan refined the natural Dao marks, he showed signs of weakness, he constantly had to stop and wait. Because of obscured heavenly secret, the 2 Venerables did not know that Fang Yuan possessed rank 9 Heavenly Essence Treasure Imperial Lotus. And because they knew about the Sovereign Immortal Aperture's details, they knew the trait of non-conflicting Dao marks, they did not think that Fang Yuan would take a risk to accelerate the time flow. As for the Immortal Aperture Origin Core's production of Immortal Essence, the 2 Venerables knew that the Sovereign Immortal Aperture had just undergone a chaos tribulation and also got hit by Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's Fortune and Disaster Coexist's killer move, thus, they underestimated the Sovereign Immortal Aperture's current foundation. Especially during this period of time, Fang Yuan refined Gu in Treasure Yellow Heaven and was willing to pay Immortal Gu to purchase all sorts of resource points and establish earth vein and water veins, he did not conceal anything. In the eyes of the 2 Venerables, such an action of urgently developing his immortal aperture meant that the Sovereign Immortal Aperture had suffered immense losses in Crazed Demon Cave. Fang Yuan guessed the 2 Venerables' thoughts. In their eyes, I need to work on raising my immortal essence production, while refining rank 9 Immortal Gu is too dangerous, accelerating time flow will also cause tribulations to occur more quickly and expose my weakness. Thus, I can only build more resource points to raise my Immortal Aperture Origin Core so that I can produce more Yellow Apricot Immortal Essence. But if I make a small blunder, the 2 Venerables will immediately be suspicious of me. Especially Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, as the number 1 person in Wisdom Path throughout history, it will be extremely difficult to deceive her. Fang Yuan was currently treading on thin ice, he knew that maintaining the status quo was the best form of victory. He could not afford to make any small mistakes. If a single small mistake appears, the 2 Venerables would analyze it carefully before quickly taking attempts to probe the truth. If the truth was exposed, what would happen? Fang Yuan would definitely be attacked by both Venerables together. Fang Yuan did not know how long he could hide this, after all, he was facing the 2 of the greatest geniuses throughout human history. It was possible that he would be exposed at the next moment. If such a situation happened, Fang Yuan would not be surprised. No longer distracted by refining the refinement path Dao marks, Fang Yuan started to unseal the truthful floating ice with his full strength. Intuition told him that a huge gain was about to appear. And sure enough, several days later, his Heaven Path attainment level rose to Quasi-Grandmaster. Even though it did not reach Grandmaster, Fang Yuan had a deep foundation, he developed a strong sense of confidence. If I deduce with all my effort now, I can definitely create a Heaven Path killer move that can allow me to take the primordial domain. Fang Yuan's portion of the primordial domain had always been kept in Treasure Yellow Heaven. Goods in Treasure Yellow Heaven could not be used on the spot. Thus, Fang Yuan could not sell his own clone and absorb the primordial domain there was no chance of this happening. Fang Yuan had to retrieve the portion of the primordial domain and absorb them to raise his attainment levels. Unsealing the truthful floating ice mainly increases Heaven Path Dao marks, followed by Heaven Path attainment level, and finally, the attainment level of other paths. This last effect is barely evident, it is only an additional effect of the truthful floating ice and is extremely insignificant. Only by using the primordial domain can I raise the attainment levels of all my paths to a huge degree. But, right now, is there a need to do it? After careful consideration, Fang Yuan shook his head. Deducing the Heaven Path Killer move was not hard for Fang Yuan, his worry were the two venerables. Once he took out the primordial domain, he would have exposed his Heaven Path method. The two venerables would first be alerted. Fang Yuan had the sovereign immortal body, with so many portions of the primordial domain, if he digested them, his attainment levels would rise and cause him to become much more threatening. Afterwards, the two venerables would be suspicious. Why would Fang Yuan possess such a Heaven Path method? He did not use it in the past. Now that he had the Heaven Path method, it meant that his Heaven Path cultivation had improved greatly. That would make them think of the truthful floating ice. After all, Fang Yuan obtained the most pieces of truthful floating ice among the three venerables. If Fang Yuan improved in Heaven Path because he unsealed the truthful floating ice, then where did he get the immortal essence beads needed to do so? Star Constellation Immortal Venerable and Limitless Demon Venerable had cooperated for 1,000,000 years to maintain the crazed demon formation. She even assimilated with the Tao and created the killer move human executing heaven's work. She definitely knew that unsealing the truthful floating ice required immortal essence. Once she found out, she would inform Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, and the two would work together and attack Fang Yuan to suppress him. Like what Fang Yuan considered earlier, a small mistake would cause the two venerables to attack him immediately. It was too likely. I can secretly deduce the Heaven Path Killer move, but the collection of the primordial domain will need to wait. Even though the primordial domain was very useful to Fang Yuan, it was not the key now. Because it would cause both venerables to attack and cause Fang Yuan to lose his current advantage, the loss was not worth the gain. No, the Heaven Path Killer move can wait. After all, once I gain this method, my luck will rise sharply. Also, I have rank 9 Heavenly Essence Treasure Imperial Lotus now. It has already increased the burden on obscured heavenly secret, its expenditure is rising rapidly. What I need to do is to refine a second rank 9 Immortal Gu. This thought had been lingering in Fang Yuan's mind for a long time. As for what Immortal Gu he should refine, Fang Yuan already had an answer. That was Immortal Gu, Advanced Refinement. Not Spring Autumn Cicada, Dog Shit Luck, Attitude, or Dream Token, but Advanced Refinement Gu. Once Advanced Refinement Gu becomes rank 9, it would be extremely useful for Fang Yuan to advance the rest of his rank 8 Immortal Gu. For example, when Fang Yuan refined Heavenly Essence Treasure Imperial Lotus, if he had rank 9 Advanced Refinement Gu, the difficulty would be halved at least. Fang Yuan had two advantages when refining rank 9 Advanced Refinement Gu. The first advantage was that Fang Yuan had rank 8 Advanced Refinement Gu already. This Gu came from Xianxia sect. It was originally the core of the long hair refinement path formation. It was currently the core of 4 element square regret blood refinement pool. Secondly, Advanced Refinement Gu was a refinement path Immortal Gu. Even though some rule path immortal materials were needed in the process, it was much purer than Heavenly Essence Treasure Imperial Lotus. Refinement path immortal materials were the bulk of its components. Fang Yuan was a refinement path venerable. He could perfectly process refinement path immortal materials. This meant that the success rate would be much higher as well. Right when Fang Yuan was secretly thinking of refining rank 9 Advanced Refinement Gu. Western Desert. At the core area of Wind Falcon Desert. Bam! With a loud sound, a vast amount of sand flew into the sky. An Immortal Gu house charged out from underground. It was Fang Clan's rank 7 Immortal Gu house, Chicken Dog Coop. This chicken dog coop immortal Gu house looked like two buildings side by side. The left building was yellow and had a round plaque that had chicken written on it. The right building was red and had the word dog on its plaque. As its entrance opened, chicken and dog ancient desolate beasts flew out. There were 10s of them. Chicken dog coop burst out with profound light, shaking heaven and earth. The empty desert suddenly had an oasis that appeared out of nowhere. This oasis had countless pine trees that were tall and sharp, each one was at least 300 feet tall, and they were widely spaced apart. The trees spread their branches and leaves out, the leaves gathered into balls with an extremely flat surface that resembled a grassland. On top of the pine leaf grassland, there were huge nests. Within the nests, there were long-distanced winged falcons. There were all sorts of winged falcons ranging from ordinary beasts, beast kings, desolate beasts, and even ancient desolate beasts. This tall pine oasis is incredible, as expected of one clan's resource point that is ranked second in Western Desert. Fong Di Chong critiqued from within Chicken Dog Coop. This was Wan clan's territory. The rank 7 Gu immortal expert of Wan clan that guarded this place was Wan Xiao. He did not show up. Instead, he controlled the immortal formation and defended against the attacks of the ancient desolate beasts. He scolded angrily, "Fong clan, what are you trying to do? As a Western Desert righteous path super force, you are actually attacking another righteous path super force without reason?" Within Chicken Dog Coop, Fong Di Chong smiled coldly and replied, "Earlier, Wan clan gathered the Western Desert super forces to attack my Fong clan together. We will settle the score now. Do you really think my Fong clan is a weak target to bully? If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 2248, Winding Light Platform. Chapter 2248, Winding Light Platform. At the center of the formation. Wan Zhao's expression was solemn. He felt a huge rock pressing down on his mind. Fong clan's attack was too sudden. He was completely unguarded. The truth was, it was not that Wan clan had not made preparations. Even since they failed in rallying Western Desert Righteous Path super forces, Wan clan had prepared for Fong clan's retaliation. They sent more manpower to their large peripheral resource points, while also strengthening the defensive formations there. They even paid a huge price to request Xiao clan to set up a transportation formation, in order to send reinforcements in time. But who could have thought that the moment Fong clan made a move, they actually bypassed the peripheral resource points, and directly invaded deep into Wan clan's territory, attacking Wan clan's second largest resource point. Fong clan planned a long time for this, but how in the world did they come here? Wan Xiao was puzzled. Wan clan was already aware of Fong clan's 3 immortal Gu houses, Chicken Dog Coop, Inquiry Dock, and Fallen Flower Hall. None of them could accomplish this. Oh no! Right at this time, Wan Xiao shockingly sensed that the formation was shaking and the ground was quaking, as if an earth trench was about to form. A large number of pine trees of the tall pine oasis fell. This defensive formation's base is buried thousands of feet deep under the ground. Fong clan actually found it so precisely, they are destroying it. Wan Xiao quickly inspected and saw an immortal Gu house wreaking havoc underground, destroying the formation's base. Immortal formations usually had a formation base. It was like the foundation of a building but much more important. Formation bases were incredibly important to the immortal formations. They were the foundation of the foundation. If the formation base was destroyed, the formation would become extremely unstable, like a building with ruined foundation. With just a slight disturbance in the base, the formation would reveal a huge flaw and even be destroyed. Therefore, when Gu immortals set up immortal formations, they would hide the formation base. Some formation bases were hidden underground, some were hidden in the air, and some were kept in the center of the formation. This defensive formation in tall pine oasis had existed for a long time, and because of the environmental restrictions, the Gu immortals who set the formation back then felt that only by burying the formation base deep underground could the formation take care of all aspects. It could defend and also nurture resources. But the formation base has been discovered and is being attacked. Fong clan is too insidious. They actually had an Earth Path immortal Gu house as well. Wan Xiao gritted his teeth. What made him feel an even greater chill was that Fang clan's methods were powerful and well prepared. Whose plan was it? Isn't Fang Dichang trapped inside Divine Emperor City? Could it be that youngster Fang Yun? What should I do? Wan Xiao was sweating all over. He had confidence earlier as Tall Pine Oasis defensive formation was very strong. He had confidence to rely on the formation to hold on until Wan clan's reinforcements arrived. Fang clan had immortal Gu houses, Wan clan naturally had them as well. When Wan clan's immortal Gu houses arrived and coordinated with the defensive formation, it would not be difficult to force back Fang clan. Once Fang clan were forced back, it would be Wan clan's victory. Because Fang clan's action already crossed the limits of the Western Desert righteous path, such a defeat would definitely lower their reputation. Wan clan could take the chance to counterattack, rallying the other forces with a righteous reason. At that time, the reaction of Western Desert super forces would be different from before. But can I hold on until then? Wan Xiao was solemn. Wan clan headquarters. What? Fang clan attacked our Tall Pine Oasis. After receiving Wan Zhao's letter, the expression of Wan clan's first supreme elder changed sharply. Wan Xiao had given a detailed description in the letter. The situation was serious and extremely urgent. Tall Pine Oasis was Wan clan's second largest resource point. It was a renowned super resource point in Western Desert, and even in the whole 5 regions, it could not be taken. Once it was destroyed or taken over, the losses would be enormous. Fang clan is really vicious. It is now a critical moment for my Wan clan. Wan clan's first supreme elder only had rank 7 cultivation and did not have outstanding battle strength, but he possessed an intuitive view of the big picture. He was deeply aware, once Tall Pine Oasis fell into the enemy's hands, not only would they lose all the resources inside, Wan clan's reputation and prestige would also suffer a huge impact. Previously, Wan clan's rally did not succeed. Now, if the resource point were to be destroyed by Fang clan, in the eyes of everyone, Wan clan would become the weakest force in Western Desert's righteous path. They would be an object of ridicule and the representation of the weakest target. Once this thought emerged, Wan clan would head down the road of decline. Because in the current situation, with the chaotic war imminent, people's hearts were uneasy. If the chaotic war erupted, everyone would feel that Wan clan could be taken advantage of. This was a frightening situation for Wan clan. Hence, when Wan clan's first supreme elder received Wan Zhao's request for reinforcements, he immediately acted. He personally moved with Winding Light platform. Only a rank 6 Gu immortal and a rank 7 immortal Gu house were left to guard the headquarters. On his way, Wan clan's first supreme elder messaged all the Wan clan Gu immortals. The Wan clan immortals were shocked and furious. The peripheral territories are peaceful and have no disturbance. After receiving the replies, the brows of Wan clan's first supreme elder furrowed tightly. After some rapid thinking, he clenched his teeth and sent a command. Shortly after, Wan Haoguang received this command. Zhuai Qing, defend this place. If Fang clan attacks, you must retreat immediately. I need to hurry to Wind Falcon Desert to reinforce Wan Xiao. Wan Haoguang immediately moved out. The relationship between him and Wan Zhao's relationship. Back then, 3 Wan clan immortals fought Fang Yuan, and Wan Xiao risked his life to save Wan Haoguang. Now, Wan Haoguang could similarly go to such an extent. But Wan Zhuai Qin grabbed Wan Haoguang's hand. Lord, it is too dangerous for you to go right now. We don't have clear information on what Fang clan's real arrangements are. If their plan of besieging the enemy stronghold is meant to strike at the reinforcements, wouldn't you be jumping right into a trap? I have a suggestion. Currently, Fang clan has entered deep into our Wan clan's territory. If we just defend, we will only receive a beating and fall into Fang clan's scheme. We may as well launch an attack and invade Fang clan's resource points. We should use offense against offense. Wan Haoguang's eyes shone as he sized up Wan Zhuai Qing and patted his shoulder. Good lad, you have improved. But, do you think First Supreme Elder did not think of this? Wan Haoguang shook his head. First Supreme Elder asked experts like us to go and reinforce them because he does not have the confidence to force back Fong Clan's forces. Fong Clan's first Supreme Elder Fong Gong is a rank 8 expert, while we have not seen him since the start of the battle. He may very likely be inside Chicken Dog Co-op. According to your plan, even if we invade Fong Clan's resource points, once we lose Tall Pine Oasis, our one clan will still suffer a huge loss. All those peripheral resource points of Fong Clan combined cannot compare to our Tall Pine Oasis. Wan Zhueqing turned pale as he deeply realized the cruelty of reality. Even if they were not clear of Fong Clan's true arrangements, Wan Haoguang had to go reinforce them, even if he had to risk his life. Simply because they could not afford to lose Tall Pine Oasis. Boom! The formation base was destroyed, a huge flaw formed in the immortal formation from which Chicken Dog Coop charged in. Wan Xiao was furious but could only maintain the damaged formation while clenching his teeth. With their home being invaded, wind falcons were provoked. They screeched as they attacked Chicken Dog Coop, going against the chickens and dogs sent by Fong Clan. A fierce fight between the beasts erupted as blood splashed everywhere. Chickens cawed, dogs barked, and falcons screeched. They formed a medley that resounded in the battlefield. An immemorial wind falcon clawed open the roof of Chicken Dog Coop. The Fong Clan Gu immortals inside were already prepared, they repaired it in orderly and calm fashion. Fong Di Chang laughed loudly, "What an impressive immemorial desolate beast, get in here." At the next moment, Chicken Dog Coop let out a beam of light. The beam enveloped the immemorial wind falcon and dragged it inside. The immemorial wind falcon struggled with all its strength, but its body kept on shrinking and its resistance grew weaker and weaker, until it was finally absorbed by Chicken Dog Coop. What? This immortal Gu house? What? This immortal Gu house can suppress the immemorial wind falcon. Wan Zhao's heart shook. Chicken Dog Coop was an enslavement path immortal Gu house that could only enslave chickens and dogs, but who could have expected that it gained a new ability now? Enough is enough. Fong Clan, you will pay for this one day. I, Wan Xiao, swear upon it. Wan Xiao roared in his head as he stared at the wind falcons that were being suppressed by Chicken Dog Coop. Fortunately, this situation did not continue for long. Wan Clan's first Supreme Elder appeared in the horizon with Wan Clan's immortal Gu house. Wan Xiao immediately relaxed. Winding light platform. Fong Di Chang muttered as he saw this. This winding light platform was a rank 7 light path immortal Gu house. It was grayish-white with 8 sides and 8 corners. On the tall platform, Wan Clan's first Supreme Elder was standing straight, his face furious as he fixed his gaze on Chicken Dog Coop. Both sides were still a few kilometers apart when winding light platforms suddenly shot out 4 beams of light. The beams actually bent in the air, they nimbly attacked Chicken Dog Coop from different directions. Under Fong Di Chang's control, Chicken Dog Coop activated defensive killer moves and blocked all 4 beams. In this short while, winding light platform had arrived before Chicken Dog Coop. Boom! With a loud explosive sound, Wan Clan's first Supreme Elder actually made winding light platform collide with Chicken Dog Coop. The two immortal Gu houses collided before being mutually repelled. A large number of mortal Gu broke into pieces and scattered in the air. He, Wan Clan's first Supreme Elder, you have such a fiery temper. Fong Di Chang's voice resounded in the battlefield. Wan Clan's first Supreme Elder and Wan Zhao's expressions changed. Fong Di Chang. Weren't you trapped in Emperor City? No, inside Divine Emperor City. Fong Di Chang's eyelids twitched as his voice turned heavy. That is not the important point. Wan Clan, I am representing Fong Clan to teach you a lesson. Don't think that any random force can find trouble with my Fong Clan. You speak with no shame. Wan Clan's first Supreme Elder shouted furiously. Immediately after, Winding Light Platform activated its killer move again. Tens of beams of light swept the battlefield. Chicken Dog Coop was forced back time and again, its ancient desolate beast suffered serious casualties. Even the Earth Path Immortal Gu house that was deep underground also got struck by the light, it was almost destroyed. Fong clan moved underground and invaded deep into our territory, it is very likely because of the ability of this Earth Path Immortal Gu house. But this Immortal Gu house seems fragile, or at least, its defensive aspect is not good enough. Wan clan's first Supreme Elder immediately cheered up. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2249, Huge Commotion. Chapter 2249, Huge Commotion. Wan clan's first Supreme Elder traveled in Winding Light platform and arrived just in time. After fighting one round with Chicken Dog Coop, he immediately discovered the weakness of Fong clan's Earth Path Immortal Gu house. When he discovered this, Wan clan's first Supreme Elder did not hesitate to activate Winding Light platform to shoot out beams of light at the underground Earth Path Immortal Gu house. The Earth Path Immortal Gu house quickly drilled deeper, evading with extreme nimbleness. Although its defense was nothing to boast about, its speed was astonishing, it dodged all the beams. Some beams brushed past it, making for an extremely dangerous situation. Wan clan's first Supreme Elder smiled, "Let me show you my Wan clan Immortal Gu house's ability." Saying so, he activated Winding Light platform's signature method. Immediately, those straight pure white beams of light underground started to bend and change their direction, attacking the Earth Path Immortal Gu house again. A large number of beams formed a web that shrouded the Earth Path Immortal Gu house from all sides. The Earth Path Immortal Gu house could only struggle fiercely, and after 10 or so breaths of time, it charged out of the ground. "I was waiting for you." The eyes of Wan clan's first Supreme Elder shone sharply, "I shall destroy this Immortal Gu house as the payment for invading my Wan clan." "Stop dreaming." Fong Di Chang called out as he controlled Chicken Dog Coop to collide with Winding Light platform. Wan clan's first Supreme Elder gave a shout, Winding Light platform shot out beams once again. The beams of light coiled around Winding Light platform, connecting with each other as they formed a powerful defensive ring. Chicken Dog Coop collided onto the surface, but its strength was redirected by the winding beams, causing it to brush past Winding Light platform. Immediately after, Winding Light platform shot a ray of yellow light. The yellow light covered Fong clan's Earth Path Immortal Gu house, holding it down on the spot. Wan clan's first Supreme Elder poured in his immortal essence in a frenzy, the yellow light started to coil like a fried dough twist. 1. Under the constriction of the yellow beam of light, Fong clan's Earth Path Immortal Gu house started cracking, a large number of mortal Gu were crushed to pieces. This move was Winding Light platform's strongest method. In just a short 10 breaths of time, Fong clan's Earth Path Immortal Gu house would be completely destroyed, even the Gu immortals inside could not escape alive. Wan Jueqing flew rapidly in the sky. His expression was extremely cold, but his heart was like a bright burning flame. This was the fire of vengeance. Wan Jueqing's father was Wan Lianghan. The latter was a rank 7 Wisdom Path Gu immortal. He had fought Fong Yuan with Wan Haoguang and Wan Shao, resulting in his death in the battle. Back then, Fong Yuan hid in Fong clan, so in Wan Jueqing's heart, it was the same as Fong clan killing his father. The hatred of his father's murder was irreconcilable. Since the moment he learned of father's death, Wan Jueqing's life experienced a complete change. Previously, he was a second-generation immortal, with his father's support, he could be arrogant and complacent. After the fall of his father who sheltered him from the cruelty of the outside world, Wan Jueqing matured quickly amidst the grief and fear. He realized that his comfortable life was the result of many people giving face to his father. He realized how fortunate he had been, and also realized his only hope now was to work hard. So, when Wan clan's rally did not bear fruit and they deployed immortals to defend their peripheral territories, although Wan Jueqing was only at rank 6, he disregarded the risk and requested to be sent to a peripheral territory to defend the resource point. He knew that he had to display his value to the clan. If the value was not high, then he had to show his loyalty. He did not have any fortuitous encounters, so he could only rely on the clan. And the clan was not his father. Every time Wan Zhuiqing remembered how blessed he had lived when his father was alive, his hatred towards Fong clan deepened. Wan Hao Guang made me guard the resource point, but what can I, a mere rank 6 Gu immortal, do, even with the support of the immortal formation? Wan Hao Guang is the main reliance to stall the enemies until reinforcements arrive. If Fong clan's true motive is to attack the peripheral resource points, I will definitely not be able to defend mine. Since that is the case, I may as well risk it and attack Fong clan's resource points. I will do what Wan Hao Guang cannot do. Wan Zhuiqing decided to risk it. If he stayed to defend the resource point, and Fong clan attacked strongly, he would at most be able to hold on for a while before he would need to retreat through the teleportation formation. Returning to the clan with such a result of losing the clan's resource point would be a small stain on his records at the very least. But if he attacked Fong clan's resource point and made some gains, it would no doubt be a huge merit. Especially under the situation when Tall Pine Oasis was attacked and the casualties were high. In this situation, as long as Wan Zhuiqing succeeded, it would be like helping one clan restore their prestige. At such a time, one merit or contribution will be counted as 10. The clan will also look at me differently. With the clan's rewards and increased support, I can progress rapidly, otherwise, with my current growth speed, it will take forever before I can exact revenge for my father. After Wan Lianghan died, his Gu worms were not left behind for Wan Zhuiqing. It was not easy for Wan Zhuiqing to cultivate, and he could only fight for opportunities by himself. I am here. The most peripheral resource point of Fong clan. Wan Zhuiqing slowed down, he restrained his aura and approached quietly. Fong clan, regarding the hatred of killing my father, I am going to take a bit of revenge now. However, after a while, Wan Zhuiqing was stupefied. He was standing dazedly on the spot. Facing the desolate desert. Wasn't this the location of Flying Sand Tunnel? Wait a second, there are clear signs of relocation. Fong clan moved this resource point away. Wan Zhuiqing was puzzled. Was it necessary to do that? Just to prevent an improbable counterattack of Wan clan, they relocated the resource point. The loss in doing that was not small. When resource points were relocated, their productivity would fall. Because the resource point was already in sync with the surrounding environment. Relocating a resource point was like moving trees, the roots would leave the land and lose the nutrients, even if they were transplanted to a better land, they would need to adapt for some time. But how many areas were truly suitable for the resource point? Even if it was an area with denser earth path Dao marks, the difference in the arrangement of the Dao marks could result in the destruction of the resource point. Super forces rarely relocated their resource points. As far as enemies were concerned, relocating a resource point was like the frontline fortress being removed, it reduced the obstructions, and they could easily invade deeper. No, something is wrong. Super forces don't easily relocate their resource points, but it is different now. Heaven Refining Demon Venerable has been madly developing his sovereign immortal aperture. The Gu refinement price list in Treasure Yellow Heaven mostly asks for Earth Path resource points too. Fong clan could have secretly transacted with Fong Yuan using these resource points as the payment. Then, how many immortal Gu did they exchange for? A shocking thought flashed by Wan Zhuiqing's mind, turning his face pale as paper. Fong clan has secretly traded with Fong Yuan, their strength has increased greatly. Our information on Fong clan is way off, oh no, Tall Pine Oasis is in danger. When he realized this, Wan Zhuiqing immediately sent a message to Wan clan's first supreme elder through Treasure Yellow Heaven. But at this time, Wan clan's first supreme elder was controlling Winding Light platform and making the final attacks on Fong clan's Earth Path Immortal Gu house. How could he spare any time to look at Wan Zhuiqing's message? Break! Wan clan's first supreme elder shouted. Humph, wishful thinking. Right at this time, a figure suddenly appeared above Wan clan's first supreme elder. Rank 8 aura surged like a tide. It was Fang Clan's first Supreme Elder, Rank 8 Fang Gong. Wan Clan's first Supreme Elder, however, did not even take a glance at Fang Gong. His sight was fixed on the Earth Path Immortal Gu House. He wanted to destroy this Immortal Gu House to make Fang Clan suffer a heavy loss. As for his safety, Wan Clan's first Supreme Elder was confident in the protection of Winding Light platform. However, all this was within Fang Clan's plan. Immortal Killer Move, Roof Tile Breaker. Fang Gong activated a killer move and slammed down with his palms. Ripples spread around Winding Light platform as it blocked Fang Gong's attack. Bam bam bam. Fang Gong slammed down without stopping. Palm shadows flew in the air as attacks rained down on Winding Light platform. Rank 7 Winding Light platform possessed Rank 8 battle strength, blocking all of Fang Gong's attacks. But the expression of Wan Clan's first Supreme Elder changed abruptly. He made a horrifying discovery. Every attack of Fang Gong's possessed a strange power. Although it could not destroy Winding Light platform's defensive methods, the power infiltrated the inside and caused severe damage to Winding Light platform's goo worms. Almost in an instant, Winding Light platform was damaged to a great extent. The yellow beams of light that had been restricting Fang Clan's Earth Path Immortal Gu House lost their source of power and dispersed completely. Wan Clan's first Supreme Elder almost spat blood from anger after seeing this. Fang Clan, you have gone too far. Wan Clan's first Supreme Elder immediately controlled Winding Light platform to retreat. He realized Fang Clan was targeting him. More accurately, they were targeting Wan Clan's Immortal Gu House. Compared to Tall Pine Oasis, Winding Light platform was Fang Clan's true objective. Wan Clan's first Supreme Elder used all his strength to retreat. But since Fang Clan saw their real objective, why would they let it go so easily? Under a normal situation, other Gu Immortals might not be able to block an Immortal Gu House's charge and could only evade. But Fang Gong was an exception. Fang Gong held down Winding Light platform while Chicken Dog Coop also attacked. After enduring for a while, Winding Light platform crumbled apart loudly. Wan Clan's first Supreme Elder's mind was filled with anger as he attacked Fang Gong. Fang Gong's expression was indifferent. Wan Clan's first Supreme Elder, remember this moment. Our Fang Clan is not to be trifled with. This Winding Light platform is the price for going against us. Fang Gong punched lightly towards Wan Clan's first Supreme Elder while maintaining his momentum. Wan Clan's first Supreme Elder only had rank 7 cultivation. He simply could not catch Fang Gong's attention. But at the next moment, Wan Clan's first Supreme Elder's expression suddenly stiffened. His killer move's activation failed, causing him to get hit by an intense backlash. He was also struck by Fang Gong's punch. He immediately turned into meat pulp, losing his life. Everyone was stumped, including Fang Gong and Fang Dichang. First Supreme Elder. Wan Xiao cried mournfully. He rode a wind falcon and took the chance to escape Tall Pine Oasis. His movement shook the Fang Clan's immortals as they regained their senses. What should we do now? Fang Gong transmitted his voice to Fang Dichang with an awkward expression. Fang Dichang's expression was dark. How could you kill Wan Clan's first Supreme Elder? This was different from their plan. Fang Clan's true target was Wan Clan's Immortal Gu House. Wan Clan had 2 Immortal Gu Houses, both were rank 7 and could fight rank 8, they were the foundation which Wan Clan relied on to be a super force. Their significance was far higher than that of Tall Pine Oasis. Getting rid of Winding Light platform would be the greatest victory for Fang Clan. Fang Clan's prestige would rise sharply. No super force would dare to rashly unite against them again. On the contrary, Wan Clan would lose one of their rank 7 Immortal Gu Houses. From then on, they could only hole up in their territory, unable to cause any more trouble. But it was different now. Wan Clan's first Supreme Elder was dead. This was a huge issue. Wan Clan would definitely retaliate with all their strength. They could use this reason to gather Western Desert's righteous path forces and form a punitive expedition against Fang Clan. Because Fong clan had gone way beyond the limits. Not only did they battle without prior notice, they even killed the other clan's first supreme elder. It was like a neighbor suddenly crashing into someone's home and killing its owner. This action of Fong clan was completely a demonic path action. Righteous path forces would be frightened, afraid that they would be the next Wan clan. Thereupon, Western Desert's super forces would definitely unite. I already held back in that punch, but Wan clan's first supreme elder was in an agitated state. He seemed to have triggered his killer move's backlash, and by some freak coincidence, lost his life. Fong Gong said with a sigh. Although they won, Fong Gong was not happy. Even the other Fong clan Gu immortals felt a heavy mood, because all of them knew this matter was huge now. Only one person was different. Tang Fongming was hiding deep underground, excited and fearful. Amazing, this dream path killer move is truly amazing. Wan clan's first supreme elder lost his life because of this, but Fong clan is completely unaware. I have accomplished Lord Fong Yuan's mission. 1. A type of food, Google for image. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2250, Fong Yuan Scheme. Chapter 2250, Fong Yuan Scheme. Countless thoughts surged in Fong Dichang's mind like tall towers before quickly collapsing. The rising and collapsing of the thoughts for thousands of times caused Fong Dichang to sweat profusely and his face to flush red. Evidently, his wisdom path deductions reached his limits. This is bad, extremely bad. Fong Dichang mumbled with an ugly expression. All the results of the deductions let him see the miserable future of Fong clan. Previously, Wan clan's rallying failed, thus, Fong clan avoided a calamity. In truth, this was mainly because of the uncertain relationship of Fong clan and Fong Yuan. Adding on that the 5 regional walls were gone, and with the fusion of the 2 heavens, Gu immortals were worried for their own safety and maintained caution. However, Fong Dichang was very clear of the true nature of Great Love Immortal Venerable. If Fong clan were to be besieged by Western Desert super forces, Fong Yuan would never stand up for them. Fong Yuan only prioritized real benefits. Unless Fong clan paid a high price that moved Fong Yuan's heart, he would never help Fong clan. Like this time, Fong clan first had the intention of attacking Wan clan, before they secretly transacted with Fong Yuan. Fong clan paid a lot of resource points to advance the rank of the core Immortal Gu of Roof Tile Breaker Killer move and exchanged for many Immortal Gu to construct that Earth Path Immortal Gu house. If Fong Yuan did not help, Fong clan and Fong Yuan's true relationship would be exposed, then Fong clan would face destruction. Could Fong clan pay the price for Fong Yuan's help? Fong Dichang had no confidence in this. What made him more worried was that even if Fong clan could pay a high price to request for Fong Yuan's assistance, what if the other super forces tried to imitate them? Could Fong clan match their price? No matter what Fong clan chooses, Fong Yuan will be the biggest winner. Fong Dichang gritted his teeth as he thought. Fong Yuan destroyed his body and captured his soul. Fong Dichang could not forget this hatred. What should we do? This first supreme elder is really the shame of Wan clan. He actually fought so carelessly. Maybe, we can revive him. Fong Gong suggested with a frown. Fong Dichang shook his head. He had already thought of this, but they could not do it. Not to mention that Fong clan did not have a method to revive Gu immortals. They might need to request help from others to revive Wan clan's first supreme elder. Even if they succeeded in reviving Wan clan's first supreme elder, would this grudge be gone? It was similar to how Fong Dichang was killed by Fong Yuan and his soul captured, but was released later on. Was the hatred between him and Fong Yuan gone? How could that be possible? This grudge deepened, on the contrary. It could be said that the enmity between Fong clan and Wan clan was already impossible to resolve. Wan clan was definitely going to retaliate with their full strength. Under this situation, were Fong clan to revive Wan clan's first supreme elder, it would be like reviving their enemy who would give them more trouble in the future. It was too stupid. Naturally, Gu immortals had endless methods. There were many ways to resolve the hatred. For instance, the publicly known spring-autumn cicada. As long as the rebirth succeeded, everything could start anew. There were also wisdom path methods to change the feelings of one clan's immortals. But these methods would need to be of an extremely high rank to be effective on all the One clan immortals, and Fong clan did not have them. Huff. Fong Dichang sighed, sharp light flashed past his eyes as he said heavily, "We can only continue to go forward now. We will go attack One clan's headquarters and deal a huge blow to them." Fong Gong narrowed his eyes, while the other Fong clan Gu immortals felt a chill in their hearts. This matter had already become big. Fong clan would no doubt face huge trouble. Since that was the case, there was no need to hesitate. They might as well disregard the consequences and weaken One clan as much as possible. All right. Fong Gong made the decision. Fong clan immediately collected Chicken Dog Coop and got inside the Earth Path Immortal Gu house, moving towards One clan's headquarters through the underground. However, when they reached One clan's headquarters, there was no one there. One clan's Gu immortals had evacuated long ago, their remaining Immortal Gu House Myriad Age building, as well as all the resources in the headquarters and treasuries were also completely gone. Fong clan's immortals were livid. This was the worst situation for Fong clan. After a while of silence, Fong Dichang suggested, "First Supreme Elder, at this point, I can only ask you to move with Chicken Dog Coop and clean out One clan's resource points. I will lead the others to go back to our headquarters and prepare for war." Fong Gong nodded, "I guess we have no choice." Fong Dichang's expression was extremely solemn. For Fong clan to get past this trial, we must rely on Fong Yuan. The more resource points you can loot, the more immortal Gu we can exchange from Fong Yuan and have greater hope. I understand. Fong Gong chose 2 people to go with him inside Chicken Dog Coop. They disappeared in the horizon. Fong Dichang led the remaining Fong clan immortals back to Fong clan's headquarters in the Earth Path Immortal Gu house. A storm was coming. Everyone in Fong clan was tense. They were like tigers who sensed threats to their lives. Hairs stood on ends and their eyes opened wide, as they prepared to oppose the retaliation of a group of savage beasts. Eastern Sea. A sea breeze was blowing, and birds were chirping. Fong Yuan was calmly undergoing a Gu refinement attempt. Inside Sovereign Immortal Aperture, the refinement of Rank 9 Advanced Refinement had reached the mid-late stage. It was too easy. This was Fong Yuan's biggest impression, even though this was the refinement of a Rank 9 Immortal Gu. It was completely different from the previous time. This time, Fong Yuan was not under the external pressure brought by Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, Star Constellation Immortal Venerable, and Spectral Soul Demon Venerable. He also did not need to guard the Heavenly Spirit. Another crucial point was Heavenly Essence Treasure Imperial Lotus was a Wood Path Immortal Gu, but Advanced Refinement Gu was a Refinement Path Immortal Gu. The latter came under Fong Yuan's specialty. It was much easier for him to process Refinement Path Immortal materials than to handle Wood Path Immortal materials. Fong Yuan was even dealing with other matters while refining the Rank 9 Immortal Gu. Fong clan's message arrived quickly, and it contained a list. The contents of the list were over 10 resource points. It did not lack large resource points, and there was even a super resource point. Over these days, Fong Gong displayed the strength of a Rank 8 Gu Immortal. Fong Dichang managed the overall situation, and even dispatched Inquiry Doc. Fong clan combed through One clan's territories, occupying many of the resource points. Looks like Fong clan gained a lot. Sure enough, every person has potential. How can it appear if they are not pressured? Fong Yuan smiled lightly. After Fong clan entered the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance, they made secret transactions. By seeing the several immortal Gu that Fong clan exchanged for, Fong Yuan could deduce Fong clan's plan. It was also reasonable for Fong clan to retaliate against One clan for self-preservation. Since Tang clan's name was intentionally concealed by Fong Yuan, it was rather special for Fong Yuan to only be connected to Fong clan among all the Western Desert superforces. Previously, one clan gathered Western Desert's righteous path forces to attack Fong clan. This had already deeply provoked Fong clan. One clan's rally failed. Fong clan let out a breath of relief before deciding to take the chance to attack one clan. This was a sensible move of using offense as defense. Fong Yuan immediately developed a plan when he noticed this. He manipulated the scene from behind, helping Fong clan with the immortal Gu and raising their strength, while also sending a command to Tang clan, imparting a Dream Path killer move to Tang Fong Ming and also lending a Dream Path immortal Gu. Currently, Fong clan had already stepped into Fong Yuan's trap, becoming the source of disturbance in Western Desert. For self-preservation, they must cooperate with Fong Yuan even more deeply, seizing resource points for Fong Yuan. On the other hand, Tang clan schemed against Fong clan. This was the same as Fong Yuan gaining a huge hold over them. Fong Yuan's influence over Tang clan deepened much more. In the letter, Fong clan asked for a lot of immortal Gu, and also requested Fong Yuan to personally go to Western Desert and display the invincibility of Great Love Immortal Venerable if necessary. For this, Fong clan agreed to pay everything. They want me to make a move. Fong Yuan sneered. How could it be possible? In the current situation of the contest of three venerables, Fong Yuan had to make the most of every moment. It was impossible for him to make a move for Fong clan. He was using Fong clan, using them as a chess piece. A chess piece was a chess piece, it should be sacrificed when necessary. Unless the value of the chess piece was extremely high and could not be replaced, Fong Yuan would not go defend it personally. Who among Fong Yuan's subordinates could not be replaced? No one. Fong Yuan could even abandon his own clones without hesitation when necessary. Why would he make a move for Fong clan? Heavenly Court. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable had just started refining Heavenly Court's Wisdom Path Dao marks when an important message arrived. There is a change in Western Desert. Fong clan invaded one clan. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable's eyes flickered with starlights. There is something fishy about Fong clan being so radical. Did Fong Yuan secretly fuel the situation? Star Constellation Immortal Venerable quickly thought of this detail. After all, the whole 5 regions knew about Fong clan openly joining the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance. Fong clan's strength rose sharply. Fong Yuan clearly supported them from behind. One clan was caught unprepared, and one clan's first supreme elder died in battle. Looks like Fong Yuan is intentionally causing unrest in Western Desert. Fong clan is actually willing to be ordered like this by Fong Yuan, making a move that puts the clan's survival in risk. It seems Fong Yuan's influence over Fong clan is much deeper than I thought. This is not good. Star Constellation Immortal Venerable frowned slightly. She quickly sensed Fong Yuan's true motive. Fong Yuan does not care about Fong clan, even though he needs the resource points to develop the Sovereign Immortal Aperture. His main target is to set an example of Fong clan to influence the Gu immortal world of the whole 5 regions and 2 heavens. Fong Yuan was a refinement path venerable. It was extremely easy for him to refine immortal Gu. With his investment, any super force's strength would soar rapidly. It was the so-called, with a sharp weapon in hand, killing intent rises. Fong Yuan's simple transaction could break the power balance that had existed for a long time in the 5 regions Gu immortal world. At present, Western Desert super forces already understood the benefits of transacting with Fong Yuan. On one hand, Fong Yuan was openly transacting immortal Gu in Treasure Yellow Heaven, and the price was affordable to the super forces. On the other hand, he created the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance, allowing any super force to join the alliance. Moreover, once they joined the alliance, they could transact secretly and obtain a lot of benefits. Fong clan joined the alliance, so they could transact secretly and raise their strength. Now, one clan Gu immortals did not even dare to show up. They could only let Fong clan loot almost all of their resource points. This trend was truly dangerous. The gains of Fong clan moved people, while the miserable state of one clan deterred them. What could super forces do in this situation? The simplest choice was to join the Heaven and Earth Great Love Alliance. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., Please let us know, report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible.